It's so sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite, they feeling. I could tear you apart, or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite, they feeling. I could tear you apart, or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite, they feeling. I could tear you apart, or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight. fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up.
Yes, people, welcome back to the Blue Money Show. Welcome back to another Transfer Watch on Chelsea Perspective. But more importantly, it's important that I say good morning, or good afternoon, and good evening to you. Please, I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. And again, my apologies for starting the show late. Again, always there's one issue or the other, which means I'd have to change the systems again. But that's by the way. More importantly, I do hope you're all doing well. Again, we're starting to see some good news. Like they say in the Chelsea community, things are happening. Yes, things are really happening indeed. And again, I hope we all can enjoy it. Hopefully, I think we're looking forward to hearing some good news in a few minutes. Actually, so if you're watching, if you get to see any good news out there, do let us know. Again, I'm using an entirely different system. And sharing my screen has become an issue, and I don't know why, but I'll keep trying so that I'll be able to show you whatever we're talking about here. As it sees always on the Blue Morning Show, we'll start to look into what people has to say. Again, I'm happy to welcome Rodrigo on the panel immediately. Rodrigo, thank you very much for finding time to join. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Big up, everyone. Big up
to you too, brother. How are you doing?
I'm good, yeah. I feel good now. Feel good. The league's about to start, and I think we're gonna have a good meal. Great meal.
Mm-hmm. So you are you dropping the keys?
No, until the 30th of August.
That's when you drop the keys.
Yeah.
You're not even being fair.
You're
not even being fair. You're not even give the guys a break. They've done quite well, given the restrictions were on all those things. You are well acquainted with everything. The club has been to. But again, if you want to keep driving the bus, maybe keep going. Maybe you get this.
Well, so I'm happy you put Aubameyang in the Chelsea top. So yeah, carry on doing what you do.
oh, because you don't want him.
Please do that. Put him in the away kit as well while you're there.
Yeah. Again, I see my friends and my brothers are commenting. Technical difficulties. I don't know if it is because it's 3 a.m. for me by the time the show starts, and I'm still struggling to get things up and running. But I think it's a serious issue with the system. It's a brand new system. I'm not sure why. Every now and then, once I play the intro, it freezes. But that's, by the way, I think we're ready to get into the show, and I don't think it can stop us. But again, welcome to everybody who's in the chat. And the first person here, as usual, is Liam Lane. He says, big up Cucurella, chat and panel. I hope you're doing well, Liam Lane. Thank you for finding the time to join us here. that's me. I'm not going to read my own comment there. Adube Lamata says, Fofana, De Jong, and Auba, this window will be madness. If Giroud can succeed at Chelsea, I think Auba can do the same. Auba is actually quicker, so there's a chance he does even better than Olivier Giroud at Chelsea. He is more aggressive in the box. I want him, but some people don't. One example who doesn't want him is Rodrigo himself, who's the driver of the Chelsea fans' panic boss. But we're not going to go into that at the moment. Liam Lenser, hopefully Cucurella is registered by noon, by 12 bells, so he can be in the squad tomorrow. Again, I don't think he plays tomorrow. If he plays, I'd be really surprised. I think it's a huge risk, if you ask me, but the manager knows what he wants. If he decides to play him tomorrow, he plays and, gets a goal, gets an assist, and we win the game, I'd take it. He wouldn't be ready. That's what I'm thinking too. Plus, it doesn't look like he was training. I'm not sure. What do you mean? Again, he's talking to Phantom. Killer Red says, did you guys see what the Leeds owner said about Barca? Yeah, I really do not want to talk about that. It's shameful. Again,
something about that we just said.
Yeah. Sorry, Ty, what did you say?
Fabrizio Romano just said something about Everton and Marc Cucurella.
Yeah, what did he say?
Feeling around Chelsea is that Marc Cucurella will be able to be called up for Everton game. Documents are signed, no race against time, but parties fully optimistic.
Okay, did you say that being available, are you saying he's going to be ready to play? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think he is, but based on what Fabrizio Romano is saying, he's saying that he will be called up for Everton games. I don't know. Maybe he.
Yeah, we have a problem. We have a problem at left wing back because Alonso won't play since he's literally gonna go to Barcelona, and we have Emerson. So it's either we have Emerson and then play Koulibaly as a left centre back for tomorrow's game. So I think Emerson will probably play this game. Because Alonso is definitely not going to play since he's going to Barcelona. They're not going to risk any injuries.
So why don't they just play him and then take him off? Because whether or not people like him or not, he's won practically everything at Chelsea.
Yes.
So they're going to want to see him.
Actually, and he's done well. It's just the defensive aspect of the whole thing is well, people.
Yeah, so they may want to say goodbye to him in a respectful way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he says I still don't get what he meant by he had no choice. Did Rafinha refuse to leave the club after the sale to Chelsea was agreed? Again, it's everywhere, and I really do not want to go into that again. I think we've moved on. We should just move on.
Remember the rumors that Deco took payment from Barcelona? Now you can see why he had to go to Barcelona. It all makes sense now. It all makes sense now.
Do you guys really want us to talk about that? I don't think we need to.
No. I mean, no. If you don't want, no.
Yeah, let's just move on. Let's just move on from it. Again, let me try and catch up with the chat. Again, it's already out of this world. We have 1,000 comments already, but I'll try my best to catch up to it because the delay in the start it's become an issue. Rafinha just refused to go anywhere. I'm not going to talk about that, and it doesn't look like they've registered him either. But he's not my business anymore. Right. So a player strike at desperation. If Leeds don't get any money, then that's on them for failing. Again, I'm not going to talk about that. Please, let's move on from that. It's distracting. It's just going to pull us back into something that's very depressing. If he joined. He's a Barcelona player right now. If they cannot register him and if Leeds cannot get their money, that's a business. They were the ones that sold them to Barcelona. So they should actually stop bringing us into that conversation. I honestly do not want to talk about it. Again, you've said in September will tell a lot. If they don't get, it's still the Barcelona thing. I'm going to scroll to the very, very, very bottom. Hopefully, everybody will stop talking about the Barcelona thing. We're here to talk about Chelsea Football Club. Please, let's stop that. And again, let me see anything else different. Let me see if I can say anything different. Big up to you too, Glenn. I hope you're doing well. Rodrigo Rogers here. Reporters are so stupid. No one cared asking Tuchel about the squad who's ready to play or any injuries, but we had tons of questions about the stupid World Cup. Yeah. Rodrigo calls the World Cup stupid. Go ahead.
Come on. Why is no one asking Tuchel who's fit, who's injured?
Cucurella has been confirmed. Sorry.
Cucurella has been confirmed.
Yeah, the website and the app just said it. Signing number 5. Apparently, I hope it is that.
Okay, brilliant. Let's switch the topic. Okay, if you're in the chat, let us know how happy you are that Cucurella has been confirmed. I'm looking. This is my brother's comment here. I was looking for it to say hello to you. Tuchel would never play him so early. Again, I don't think that will happen. And by the way, big up to you for finding time to join us. I'll try to share the link with you in case you have the time to join us here. Again, let's start with you, Rodrigo. Just go ahead and tell us how happy you are that that one has crossed the line. And again, even though
you need to read that.
They just confirmed him that week. They confirmed him they'll wake it. I knew it, man.
Yeah, and even though I photoshopped him into our jersey, we still got a man. So you talk to me, Rodrigo. How do you feel now?
First of all, you broke the jinx, so well done to you. So keep doing that for Aubameyang. Put him in an away kit as well.
So you think Aubameyang will be coming?
No, I hope it doesn't. But that's a different conversation.
No, but really, how happy are you? If you're in the chat, let us know how elated, happy, however you want to phrase it. Let me know how happy you are that we've gotten a man, gotten this one across the line, and so far you can say we're having a good window. I don't know if that will be enough to get Rodrigo to drop the keys to the panic bus. It remains to be seen. Go ahead, Rodrigo.
I told Tuchel, I need a right wing back. Please get me that right wing back. Then we'll be in good books. We get right wing back and maybe another attacker. Then we're good. Then we're cooking. When we're having that good meal, he said we're gonna have. I'm happy with Cucurella. He's an amazing player. I think what he's gonna offer us. I think Tuchel alluded to it. He's basically fit the profile of Azpi. So I think he probably sees him playing as a left centre back as well as a wing back, because he said he's going to come to reduce the pressure on Chilwell, because we don't know what Chilwell we're getting, and he might take Chilwell a lot, because in that position as a left wing back you need to be committed, you need to be dynamic. If you have this thought in the back of your head that you don't want to commit in challenges because you're scared to re-injure your knee, it's not going to be 100%. It might be physically fit, but mentally it takes time. So it'll be good to ease Chilwell in, but at the same time we have an amazing player. He's way better than Alonso. Alonso is good in a box, but in terms of his intensity, his dynamic runs, Alonso offers us next to nothing in that position. So this is an amazing signing. And the funny thing is, when City were going for this signing, the rivals, the people, they were like, "Oh, this is an amazing left back for City." As soon as we signing him, he's overpriced. Chelsea are paying over the
I'm seeing that everywhere. They're saying we're overpaying, exactly. Because we're getting the player. Go ahead.
That's why rivals are worried. They know Chelsea. I don't want to tempt fate, but they know Chelsea are doing crazy business to get this guy for whatever we paid. Is amazing, and obviously we need to. The reason we went over the odd. Obviously, we don't want to lose Colwill. So for the people that were crying about Colwill, all these Coburn lovers, listen. Colwill is going to Brighton. He's going to have to prove to all of us that he's ready for the big time league. If he can do it, then he'll come back to Chelsea.
The Colwill thing is another conversation. Some people think it is wrong.
I want him to wear the number. Rudiger's gone. Number 2 is always right back position, isn't it? It's weird to see a left back wearing 2 on the back. But I think he'll be number 4. It's 4 or 2. Let's go.
Yeah, okay. I will come back to the panel. Let me quickly catch up with the chat. It says, what is the price looking like for Auba? Because I am fully on board with this signing. We haven't heard anything about a price tag. So if you go to transfermarket.com, again, you get how do I phrase it? an estimation of what we will be. I says, hey, Cucurella, hey to you too. I hope you're doing well. The Queen of the House, thank you. Nice to see you finding time to join us here. Again, hi, Just Viola. Just Lam Lane saying hello to Just Viola here. Let me see if there's anything else to read. I think Chelsea's name can be found on the championship trophy next season, 1954. It's an old Division 1 trophy. I may be wrong. I'm not sure what you're referring to that. Is Chilwell not free to play versus Everton? Chilwell, he's returned. Again, I think we've talked about that even before Thomas Tuchel talked about it too. The truth is, yes, he's back, he's training, but that's a different thing than being in a match environment, being on the pitch on a match day, playing against a serious game. That's a different thing altogether. He has to readapt because he was out for a pretty long time. Again, that doesn't mean it's still not good, but there's a chance. There's always a risk of a player returning from a long-term injury not to be able to replicate the form that they showed before they got injured. Is Aubrey really worth the 60 million offer? Did we hear the price tag anyway? I haven't heard anything about the price tag. So just let us know how happy you are that we've signed Marc Cucurella from Brighton. And then we'll talk about the price tag later on. And Lee is back. Lee, how have you been? It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know. Mendy, James Silva, K2, Mark, Alonso, Kante, J5, Stalin, Kai, and Mason. What are those names for? Can you let me know? I want to know why you're mentioning those names. Rafinha now at Barcelona. It's done. Yeah, it's over. Let's stop talking about him, please. Great to see Azpi staying. Yes, that's one of the things we'll talk about, whether it makes sense for him to stay or why we think he's staying. It's important that we get into that. It's official. Yes, thank a brother for bringing that up there. So I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. So whatever I'm reading will be aligned with what we have, what we're talking about, or maybe just be highlighting them as the panelists speak. I'm going to go to Ty before I go to IBZ. Ty, your thoughts. What do you think? How happy are you?
Happy about what?
The signing of Marc Cucurella, sir.
Well, I'm not as happy as I was yesterday, but it's good. Signing number 5, this for the men's team, so it's good. I mean, he's a player that I was hoping we would get. I was pushing for him since May, and nearly 3 months later he signed. But I like the way that they did it, and I had a feeling that they were gonna release the away kit or probably show it off with him wearing it. Because obviously we have to play the away kit tomorrow. We have to play in the away kit because we can't wear the same colors as Everton. So I like the way that they announced it. I'm assuming that the other videos will come out regarding the away kit, possibly this today and probably into tomorrow. But it's a good signing. It's one that hopefully will last for a few years. And he'll bring quality to the team. He'll bring competition to Chilwell. And it's just exciting times. And hopefully, when he gets started, it'll be good, and it'll be an investment that will be worth the price. So I'm happy, but I'm not as happy as I was yesterday. And
what is the difference? Can you let us know why why the measure of your happiness changed today?
Yeah, because I celebrated like crazy yesterday when I saw that medical was gonna be done and everything. So the excitement isn't. Maybe as the time goes on, I'll start celebrating more. But right now, it just seems I just feel it was expected. That's the way I feel right now. It's like when you win the lottery, and you know what? I knew I was going to win the lottery, but then as soon as it goes on and it sinks in, you're like, oh my god, it actually happened. So maybe that's what would happen. But right now, I'm just like, I was expecting it.
Yep. Okay. How about you, IBZ? Let us know. How do you feel?
Yeah, man. I hope everyone's good. Good weekend. Premier League's better. Let's go. Yeah, man. I'm happy. Overdue, if you ask me. We need to get over the line, but I'm happy it's done. I'm happy that we've used an opportunity. Sorry. we were opportunistic in this deal, and then we took it, and then we didn't budge, and so I'm happy for that. Hopefully, if I'm correct, hopefully he can be registered in time for tomorrow. Maybe that's why they wanted to get everything done by 12.
You really want to see him start tomorrow? You don't think it's a risk?
No, I think Chua was more of a risk than Cucurella to start. But yeah, hey, I mean, if Alonso and Emerson start tomorrow, it's whatever. I know that I've got Cucurella number 5. I love his hair. The signing I've done before, my FM. He's good. Yeah, I'm all for it. So now we can look at securing. I think it's fair to say the left side of our defense has been sorted out. So we now have to look at the right side, midfield, and definitely attack. And then then we're good to go. Obviously we got a month to do it. Obviously I still hold my reservations about obviously Todd and how he's done it, but we have to just give him credit, I guess. Well done. You're new on the job. You're being overly ambitious, very busy. Other people say things, other people say others, but I'm happy. Another signing, stability on that left-hand side, assurance over that left-hand side. And I like the way Chelsea tweeted just now. They took a dig at Brighton with their tweet just now. They kind of copied word for word what Brighton tweeted when they said, contrary to reports from news media outlets, no bid has been confirmed. But Chelsea go today, contrary to media reports, we can now confirm that Cucurella is a Chelsea player. So
that is brilliant.
A little bit of banter. Pardon?
You realize the way they did it though. Both of them released their tweets at the same time, the exact same minute, the same second. So you look at they scheduled it for the same time.
But you see the tweet. If you look at the Chelsea,
that's how they confirmed it. The first one, and then they have. Yeah, I like the way they did it though, because I mean that's what Brighton. That's what Brighton
try to come out on some. They're okay, but I'm happy. All in all, we're happy. We thank God. We move. My man, is signed, sealed, getting into training. I suppose by between now and 2:00, he's already doing sprints. We're gonna see pictures of him doing in and out rondos. You wanna kill
the guy? IBC, come on, you wanna kill
my guy? You're here. We thank God. Honeymoon is over. Yeah, get to the field. Yeah, start running. That's my own. So we can now focus on the next, which is right back, attack, Aubameyang or no Aubameyang, bro, or no bro, anybody. Just let's get things sorted, which I'm happy. So IBC, roll on tomorrow. Yes, bro.
IBC, let your man at least have lunch. My God, you want to drink?
See, Rodrigo, see, guy, I've not had patience. I've had patience, but I've not. Like, I want us to be ready. I know we're ready. I think listening to Tuchel today, what he said in it, like we are more ready than we were after the Arsenal game. I think after the Arsenal game was a bit, but I think the players' moods are before the Arsenal game. So I'm more optimistic, and I think that the guys are just ready now. They just want to get on with it now. So I think it is good that Thomas Tuchel has set the balance and not even put pressure on them. And obviously, we'll see what happens.
Can you guess the number from that picture? I wanted to.
What number? Number? No, I don't know. I don't know.
It is difficult. It's difficult to tell what number that is, but we'll find it now later.
I don't even know. I don't even care what number. If you like, give him 99. He's my player. I don't care.
Loftus-Cheek wears 12. Did they change from 12? So I don't think it's 12.
I've seen the squad numbers.
Loftus-Cheek.
I haven't seen his one. No, I haven't seen what.
Did Loftus-Cheek change from 12?
No.
Yeah, but that's by the way. Again, thank you, Alana. Thank you for finding the time to join us. We want to get you hear how happy you are. Then I'll try and catch up with the chat quickly, and then we'll come back to the panel. We'll have quite a lot to talk about. But then again, thank you already for 41 likes. You guys are absolute legends. That's always the support for this channel has always been immense, and today is no exception. So thank you so much, Lionel. Let us know how you're feeling, brother. And what do you think about the window overall?
Yeah, fantastic. I am super excited. This is the signing that I needed. to start the season. It's fantastic. I'm super hyped. I cannot wait for tomorrow. I would love to see him play tomorrow, but I know Tuchel takes his time when new players come in. So, yeah, we probably won't see him, but hopefully if they want to protect Chilwell, like he said in the press conference earlier today, then he will probably, there will probably be, maybe like 30 minutes, or he might get some playing time. So I'm super excited. It's a fantastic signing. But like everyone else said on the panel, we need to now put our head down and continue, because we need to get the squad working together as quickly as possible. And if we get the names in the door and those that are leaving out the door, it's fantastic for us. I'm super excited, man.
Yeah, I just quickly, I'm going to catch up with the chat, then we'll go straight into talking. I want us to start with Tuchel's comments on fluidity, because that brings something to mind, something we've always talked on the panel here. But more importantly, Marc Cucurella, welcome to Chelsea Football Club. Again, that's some, reduces the passengers that are willing to hop onto Rodrigo's bus. But we'll see what happens. Let's enjoy this one while it lasts, because in a few days again, we'll start complaining on what players we're not able to bring in, and those we're able to bring in. That's Chelsea fans for you. It will be all praises for the club today for pulling out this one. Again, we'll also talk about the rival fans saying that we're overpaying, probably because they're not able to get them. If you look at this guy's numbers, why we actually decided to pay more than Manchester City are willing to pay. Maybe we evaluated him differently. We understand his value. We understand that he slots into our team seamlessly, and he brings a lot more to us than he probably would give to Manchester City. But that's, by the way, Glenn says he's an painkiller. He's not happy. I am happy by default. Okay, so to speak. I get it. I get it. But then again, whatever reason you're on painkiller for, I hope you overcome. But I get the joke side of you're happy by default. The Ramaj Mahale says we don't need a Cuckoo this match to beat Everton. We need him for next match. I think he will be ready by then, and more players will join as well. Again, I'm not into getting a player today and then playing him the next day. It's always a risk. He has to train with his teammates, at least for a few days. Again, I will never forget what happened, how we signed Fernando Torres, fielded him against Liverpool immediately. I know this is not against his old team, but there's always a risk. There's always that pressure there. Give him time, to settle in well. There's no need risking him. I think we have players who can help us execute that game without him being part of it. Let's say again, Lee, I've said hello to you. Again, CDK Adam 15 million. I don't think we seriously looking at him. I don't know, but we'll talk about it in a bit. Cucurella announced. Yep, we've looked at it also. Again, I will scroll. Cucurella. Yep, I will scroll to the very bottom. And again, if I skip your comment, your contribution in the chat, apologies. I'm only human, and there's so much to read. Probably because we started a bit late. Please, Jinho is above 30. We need the young to replace them, not necessarily to replace them. And you shouldn't be saying we should replace players because of their age. Again, that is not okay. Experience is important in every team. If you field an entire team, if you build an entire team with just youth, you have a problem there. They lack, that is probably usually you miss, let's say, endurance in terms of, managing games. That's why Madrid were able to win the Champions League this past season, because of the experience they have in the team. It is because of that experience that even when they're 3 goals down, 2 goals down, you think it's over for them, they still come back because they have patience. That's where experience comes in, patience. They still know they can do it, even though they're 2-3 goals down. So it's important to keep experienced players. Balance is key, balance of youth and experience. So don't just call for the team to be overhauled, bring in youth because the other player is 30. Why not Thiago Silva if you're thinking that way? But that's, by the way, again, says here, MC Rats says Cuckoo is now, we've seen that again, says it's down to Cucurella is a blue. Marco Asturizaga, nice to see you here. I appreciate you finding time to join us. I would take Adama. Some people, we know a lot of Chelsea fans will take Adama Traore. correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't over to Barca alone because they couldn't afford the wages. I don't think it's they terminated this.
They terminated his contract.
Yeah, they terminated his contract. Yeah, which in the long term makes a business sense for them because they'd be saving quite a lot of money. Since the relationship isn't working, you call it out, quits, everybody go their separate ways. It makes perfect sense. Yeah. Again, Cucurella announced, and Rodrigo that taught me how to pronounce this name, he pronounced it wrongly today, so I'm going to shame you publicly. Let me see anything else. Yep, the Queen reminds us. Lee says, all good, coach, just walking whilst the show has been on. Oh, nice to hear that, brother. Bills don't pay themselves, so it's important that we walk. Chelsea Twitter admin just bought... But yeah, that's. I want to see that. Why haven't I seen it? Again, it's fun. Let's try and find it. Why did I miss it? Maybe I have to go back to search for that particular tweet. You know, a remix of what Brighton said.
Go on the official account.
Not the official account.
Not the official account.
Okay, I'll try to find it in a bit again. But that's, by the way, imminent. Why does it say in? Okay, I thought you said imminent. I was going to say what the heck are you talking about? So I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Wow, that's quite a lot of comments there. I can't get them all. Let's get into the some of the updates I want us to look at here. I think we've seen this one. Marc Cucurella. That's how you say it, Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Again, his first word says, I'm really happy. It's a big opportunity to join one of the biggest clubs in the world, and I am going to... Okay, now I just jinxed myself. They were still loading in. I clicked out on it. He looks good on it, although this is not completely blue. I want to see him on the blue shirt to see maybe if it fits him or not. I think it does. I'm just kidding anyway. But that's, by the way, he says the best club in the world.
Look at that hair. Look at his hair. Don't you see that hair? That hair that's going to be bombing down the left.
What are you going to do with his hair? IBZ.
Oh, you guys are not understanding. You see that hair? It's like sideshow bob.
I dream of having.
You see that sideshow bob hair? David Luiz-esque. Where your hair is long like that. You see how we running down the wing with his hair like that, man.
It's flashing. It's
flashing. Is he going to be crossing the ball with his hair?
Oh, but you see that cross here? The hair will amplify that cross for you. You see that when
physics. Defying gravity.
They don't know, Ty. They don't know. They don't understand.
Yeah, I'm happy we got them. I think when I looked at this, his statistics, and I was a bit skeptical about his numbers, and then it was
Brighton have missed the most chances. Their attack is maybe as bad as Chelsea's. They miss. So you watch Brighton play. The amount of chances Brighton miss is borderline ridiculous. So he creates lots of chances, but
it's redonkulous.
They rob him of assists. It's like Reece James. Reece James could have double.
That's redonkulous.
They rob him of assists.
Yeah, it is indeed. I think I was what's his name? Gopo, who came on and told us he's put in that's a total of crosses he had, balls he put into the box is around 500 plus or so, a little less, but more than Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Again, it made me look into it more. I think we've gotten ourselves a gem here. Again, the crosses will go in. Again, hopefully our attackers will start putting away the chances. We'll have Raheem Sterling, who I trust to always be in the right place at the right time. Except from what we're seeing, maybe first Thomas Tuchel decides to use Raheem Sterling like he did during the preseason games. He might not always be in the box, but he looked like he was going to be. It just looked as if Thomas Tuchel wants to use him as the orchestrator of the team's play because he was everywhere. He was dropping deep. He was, drifting to the left, to the right, and then in the box. I hope he gets in the box more because, again, he'd finish. And I know he's underrated in terms of his finishing. I think if you look at his number, his numbers actually ain't bad. But I hope, and we'll see how much it does for him. Yeah. And for the women's team, we have Chelsea women confirmed the signing of Johanna Wrighton, welcome to Chelsea. I'm not sure what position he plays. I wish I had Louisa here. I reached out. She probably knows the player better than I do.
Joanna.
Joanna, indeed. Does it? Does anybody know her very well? I don't know her.
I don't know, but
this one want to do me like Drogba. I know her. She wants to do me like Drogba.
IBZ is obviously happy. You're obviously happy. Again, thank you, people in the chat, for already 55 likes. We broke the record yesterday. We were able to reach, again, what did I ask the panel again? Nothing. And 97% said yes. I mistakenly clicked on it because it's a touchscreen and it was to my right hand. I clicked on it and it went through and people... Yeah, go ahead.
See the Chelsea tweet, didn't you? You're going to see the Chelsea tweet on Cucurella.
Yeah, if you share it, I'll bring it up. Again, this is another good news. There are outgoings, a lot of them, a lot of players are going out, which means we have space to bring in new players, and that is some good news. Last summer, it wasn't that easy to get rid of some of them. Maybe the club has decided to take L wherever necessary and bring in new players. In Alonso's case, I wouldn't say it's an L. His contract, he has just 1 year left on his contract, and if we don't sell him now, he gets to leave on a free. Barcelona are really close to signing Marcos Alonso. Talks are progressing well with Chelsea after Cucurella deal completed. Personal terms agreed months ago. Being told it's now really close. Parties are waiting for Tuchel's green light. Now finally confident. Do you guys think Tuchel would rather have him play that game against Everton before letting him go?
No, you can't risk it. You definitely can't risk it.
Yeah, I think TT will play Alonso, I think he will rather play Alonso just to make sure...
Maybe like what he did with Rudiger. Maybe he'll do like... And again, Rudiger was confirmed. It wasn't confirmed with Alonso.
I would want to see Cucurella just sign stats, but like this comment said, Matt Lawson, optimistic people done in time to have him squad for the weekend. But I think Tuchel, to trust him, for him to just make sure everything is in the sake of his fitness over pre-season. Alonso's played and what have you. He might have a Alonso start, which is I don't mind. I don't mind. I know I have Cucurella. I don't mind.
And it's a good way. It's a kind of a farewell to
Alonso.
Yeah. If you want to
that would Rudiger too.
Whether we like it or not, like Alonso, I mean, he hasn't been the best defender, but he's scored some really clutch goals for Chelsea.
100%.
As bad as he's been as a defender, he's been amazing attacking-wise. So, it would be nice to kind of give him a send-off, a respectful, goodbye and thank you for your service.
Yeah.
He's actually, surprisingly, done well in terms of handling his behavior, even when I think you could argue Frank Lampard disrespected him so much. He didn't treat a lot of players well, yet he stayed and he didn't leave. And I think you could argue
what game was it West Brom? It was the game against West Brom, and then conceded 3 goals, and he subbed him at half-time. I think that was the nail in the coffin for his relationship with Lampard.
And yet we didn't hear much. We didn't hear much from him. He didn't complain that much. Even if he did, I heard nothing about it. So again, I think he plays tomorrow probably. Go ahead.
Make of Cucurella comment. That's a bit weird. I'm going to work hard to be happy here and help the team. What? You have to work hard to be happy. I just found out.
Say the guy's first English is not.
I know. In Spanish, so it makes sense.
You know how you say, "I want to be happy here." I want to.
I'm going to work hard to be happy here. What? I understand Spanish. It makes sense when I read.
I'm still looking for that link for that tweet because I want us to look at it. So let me try and catch up with the chat. I'll come back. Let's discuss how. Because Colwill going the other way, there are people feeling like the club should have fought to keep him. Again, I'm surprised actually he ended up being a loan deal. Maybe they don't really want. Isn't it a loan?
Yeah, I don't know why everyone's angry. It's just a loan.
Yeah, because the argument has always been. Go ahead, Ty. You were saying something.
And Nizar Kinsella is the what do you call it, the leader of this panic for a lot of fans, because he was saying something on Twitter that does it benefit him in terms of development? No, it doesn't. So people were, and that's stupid because for me, Graham Potter is an excellent manager. He sets up a defensive well team. The team is set up very good. He's just unfortunate with the attack because unlike I don't know who was saying it, that this why Cucurella's stats are not the greatest. But if you take a deep dive into it, you'll realize that they in contrast to Reece James and Trent, he's the third highest in terms of chances created. So he's created chances, but his teammates haven't really worked out. And that's why he only has one assist. Because the one assist obviously was against us and it's convenient because the one assist was against us and then he signs for us. And then then he will break. So
again, let me just catch up and we'll come back with a question. Let's talk about the Levi Colwill situation, whether we think he's better, whether he would have been better off remaining at Chelsea or joining at Brighton. Again, I'm hearing that Brighton, they're looking for a replacement for Cucurella. That's where I'm concerned. That's really where I'm concerned. But I'll come back to the panel in a bit. Colwill is going to Brighton, bro, on loan. And Leicester City trying to get him for Fofana, but they missed out on him. The EPL game is Arsenal versus Crystal Palace at 8 p.m. London, which is around, I think it's around 12 p.m. my time. Marc Cucurella, I am really happy. It's a big opportunity for me to join one of the best clubs in the world. Yep, I think I've read that. Why wouldn't he be happy? Chelsea is a big club. And then rival fans are saying we're overpaying. We'll see about that. Again, hopefully he does well. Barcelona have confirmed the signing of Arsenal striker on a free transfer. Okay, that's you reminding us he left Arsenal on a free. They had to terminate his contract. And I'm not sure how much he earns at Barca. Again, if Thomas Tuchel wants him, let's get him. That's just my point now. Welcome, Johanna. Again, Johanna, is this? How did IBZ pronounce it again? Joanna.
Joanna.
Yep. Welcome to Chelsea Football Club. I wish I had Louisa here to tell us more about the player. She's well acquainted with the women's team. She probably knows about Joanna here, and probably we'll be planning to host a show to talk about her. Maybe she'll be part of the evening show because we'll do the predicted lineup this evening for sure. Again, yes, they are optimistic. Okay, let me show. Okay, I'm just going to scroll to the very bottom. Please, apologies again. I will try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. Bamfordinho, nice to see you. To anybody I haven't said hello to you, PJ Artist, I haven't said hello to you. I hope you're doing well. I'm so sorry I have to scroll to the very bottom. Otherwise, I will keep reading these and we will not get done until the end of the show. Apologies. Again, I will try to get to your subsequent contributions in the chat. Now, coming back to the panel, I want to start with you, Tobago. You haven't told us. Tell us how happy you are. And please don't forget to present your ID first.
To be honest.
That's identity
theft. To be honest, I'm so delighted to be a Chelsea Football Club fan. I've been crying about this kid. I want him. Oh my gosh! And then
the time older than you. Stop calling him.
Sorry to cut off Tobacco.
You say what?
Can we just share Tobacco's excitement? Rodrigo's happiness right now. He just seems so happy and delighted to share this news. Like, I'm feeling your energy, bro. Carry on.
Yes, please. and then Rodrigo says he's older than me. I'm 30 years old, man. Come on. I'm so delighted.
Go ahead.
He's old enough to be your brother.
Thank you. But again, I wanted Marc Cucurella for a long time. The time he was so linked to Manchester City, I was so sad, hoping they won't get him. And then, oh my gosh, Todd Bowley, the new godfather, came in and gave Brighton money. Say, you want this kid now. We are not going to negotiate. Anyway, guys, I'm so happy. We've got Marc Cucurella at Chelsea. He's a versatile player. He'll be good for our system.
Yeah.
That's it, guys.
Yeah, he fits in. Now, let me start with you on this one. We're here in the Brighton. They're looking to bring in a replacement for Marc Cucurella. Now, and Levi Colwill is headed to that direction. So if that's the case, where does that leave Levi Colwill? It just doesn't make sense. And if they are only willing, if they decided to take him on loan, and it's not like that with an option to buy, which means he's just an option for him. There's no guarantee that he gets enough game time to continue developing as we would like to see.
What is going on?
Did you hear that, Ty?
Yeah, and they've already confirmed him in the kit.
Okay, so what do you really think?
Well, I think I have to say I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they accepted it. I know that we paid more to compensate the fact that it's not a permanent with a buyback, because they didn't want the buyback in it. So we decided to go with a loan, and then we upped the price from 60 million to 65 apparently. So I guess in that sense, for them, they'll be happy right now, because they will look at Levi Colwill and say he has some leadership in him in terms of not easily being deterred by little mistakes. And I mean, maybe they'll look at the fact that he had an excellent season a good enough season with Huddersfield, and despite the unfortunate circumstance that led to them not being promoted through the playoffs, they'll say that, okay, this is a player that we could rely on, even if it's for 1 year. But also they can also say, okay, we'll go and find this permanent replacement for Cucurella, but at the same time find the best way to utilize Levi Colwill as we value him. And apparently Graham Potter although I love to call him Harry Potter, loves to have these type of players, and he's supposedly a fan of Levi Colwill. So he was happy. And he played a small part in the decision making in terms of Brighton's decision to allow Cucurella to leave and Levi Colwill joining the club on a temporary note on a loan. It's surprising for me, because I didn't expect Brighton to accept a loan. But I guess at the end of the day, they're saying that, okay, this is the best opportunity to get a player who can at least play, if possible, at least two of the three positions that Marc Cucurella could have offered to Brighton. So I think in that sense, they will find other targets, and there are reports from their journalists, Brighton journalists, saying that they're looking at left wing backs, and to me that gives me an indication that they may utilize Levi Colwill as a left centre back, and then they find a left wing back. But you never know. Maybe they try to move for left. And that probably would benefit us in the long run. But I guess in that sense, it's a good club for him to go to develop, because, like I was saying, Brighton have an excellent manager in terms of setting up a defensively strong team. But they are unfortunate in the goal scoring side. And I mean, although they smashed Man United 4-0, I had to add that in. They have the issues of their attack now being consistent. So they share a similar thing to us, but obviously their circumstances is more unfortunate. And I mean, they are looking to bring in other players as well. So good luck to Levi Colwill, but I know that people are unhappy about it. But I know you'll discuss that, so I'll allow everybody else to speak.
Look, I would have been. I'd prefer us selling him again. It's a good deal for it to be just on loan. I prefer us selling Levi Colwill to them. With what we heard then, what was out there was that with a buyback clause of around 40 to 45 million, that's not bad in this market, in the current market. And you were talking about that would be like in 2 or 3 years. You're talking about a player who'd be ready then. Because if you sell a player, here's my argument why I hate the loan system. In most cases, our players go for loan options when they have like injury situation, in the current squad, or where they're looking for a player just to hold the ground for them while they get what they want. And if they get what they want, that player technically becomes a surplus to requirement, because it's common sense that if Brighton today signs a new left wing back or gets a fine replacement of a Marc Cucurella, Levi Colwill he's just there to make up the team numbers, and will only get game time here and there, and they're not obliged. There's no agreement in place that says, I don't know if there is, you let me know, or let's hear about it, that says he must get at least 20 games.
Definitely not.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why I hate the loan system. It's a risk. It would have been. I think I'd prefer us to sell the player to them, add a buyback clause, which was what we heard before. Maybe they themselves they've identified a different target who they believe would do a better job than Levi Colwill to them, and Levi Colwill just adds to the number of players they have in their team. So if they spend money to get a replacement for Marc Cucurella, you know what happens. But that's why I'm going to go to Rodrigo next to let us know what he thinks. But let me quickly catch up with the chat. I don't want it to get too long. Again, says Alonso is a defensive liability, and he quit on Lampard during the halftime. Did he quit or was he taken off? You let us know. We really want to know what happened there. Again, he
went to the bus after he was substituted. They had an argument, a heated conversation in the dressing room. That's what the Telegraph said. And he headed straight to the bus, and he never came back on to sit on the bench. He went. See, there were some big issues, but I think Lampard was a bit immature. Well, I want to say immature, but I think he took it too far by not playing him for 4 months. But Alonso did make a good comeback on the two. He scored when he came back, so it was a good entry.
I think my friend here, MC Rice, is talking about what's the Newcastle player, Alan San Maximin. Again, but we'll talk about that further in a bit. Here says Richie Paul Edochie. Are you Peter Doche's son? Let me know. He says, so who's the next Chelsea? Who's Chelsea going to sign next? We really need a central defender and a smart forward because we need to bring back the trophy home. It's not that simple. Please manage your expectations. Again, we're better. Again, I like it that we're underdogs, but I think some clubs, given the players we've signed, will look at it and say they're not. I hope they keep seeing us as underdogs because a lot happens. And thank you for sharing. A lot happens when we're seen as underdogs. Thank you for sharing the links here, Lee. I appreciate that. And this brother here, Joseph Ola, says, I'm very happy about the Cucurella signing, hoping to have Aubameyang in our team. If the club wants him, if they bring him in, I'm all for it. Again, but I think would be good actually going forward. But we need experience if we can get one. If not, let's go into the season as we are. I think we'll be fine. But that's why I'm going to come back to the panel also. There's no time to keep reading my screen. It's a bit problematic this morning. I can't get everything. So apologies to you. That was one of the reasons why we started very late. But that's, by the way, coming back to you, Rodrigo, what do you think of the Levi Colwill situation? Because it's, you can say there's no guarantee.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think you should worry much because Colwill himself, I don't think he can play left wing back. So he's going to Brighton to really play left centre back, and I feel like he will.
Then don't they already have a player there?
Well, he has to prove. Even if he stayed at Chelsea, everywhere Colwill would have gone, he won't. Even if they bought him, he still has to prove. So I think this is not a bad move. Player going on loan, obviously, it's down to the player. If the player really plays well and shows to the manager that he deserves his starting position, these teams care more about gaining points than being petty about developing other Premier League teams players. Look at Gallagher. As soon as he went to Palace, he showed Patrick Vieira that I'm here to work hard, I'm here to earn your trust, and he was playing week in and week out. When he doesn't work out, I mean maybe it's down to the player. If Colwill goes there, perform well whenever he's given time, he will 100% play as a left centre back for Brighton. Brighton will definitely probably sign a left wing back because Colwill doesn't. Even when you look at him, physically doesn't look like a left wing back. He's too tall. I don't know how fast he is. He just doesn't strike me as someone that can play. He's like playing Dan Burn as a left wing back. He just doesn't work. I think Brighton actually done that, but yeah, in short, and
if you can see the comment on the screen,
yeah, Lewis Dunk, Adam Webster, Shane
yeah,
Duffy.
It looks like your audio is it's not stable, Rodrigo. But go ahead, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm saying if you look at those names, Lewis Dunk, Adam Webster. I know Lewis Dunk and Adam Webster. I don't know about Shane Duffy. He will definitely play. He can definitely play because some of them will play. Like Lewis Dunk, I believe he could play centre Because when Brighton play with back three, I think he'll probably play in the middle of the back three. He will definitely. I don't think he will play 38 Premier League games. No, he'll probably play something. I think in the region maybe 20 Premier League games, maybe, and he will probably have a lot more FA Cup and League Cup games. And it's up to him. If he perform, like obviously the hype is on. Everyone believes this kid is that good, and if he's that guy, like we saw with Gallagher last season, if you go there, you perform well, the manager will play you. Yeah.
And overall, do you think it would have been better off staying?
No. I prefer going there because staying here. Obviously, if we didn't sign Cucurella and so on, yes, I would say we keep him because I see him. I put him ahead of Malangsa. But now we've signed Cucurella. We have Koulibaly to play in there. I think for his development, it's good. It's good that he's gone there. It's good, and it's good that we didn't sell him outright, because I know you say we can buy him back for 45 million, but the risk we have there is what if he's that good, he doesn't want to come to Chelsea, and other big boys are circling around. At least it's this. At the end of the season, we can have a fair comparison. We can all have we've seen him play, because right now we're going by few games. The few games people watch of Huddersfield. I wonder how many people actually watch Huddersfield play week in and week out. So now we have that opportunity to assess him properly. Even Tuchel said that the reason he's gone, we don't really have time to assess him properly. So now we can do that. I'll be watching Brighton very closely, so we can know, and then we have a more educated guess. Because right now we all think he's that guy, but how do we know? So it's good move. It's good move. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, in a bit, I'm going to come back to Lionel Joel. Then we'll also have IBZ in the house, the legendary IBZ himself to speak again. But let me catch up with the chat. It's Kami says Shane Duffy has been sent to Fulham, so Colwill has even less competition. Again, my point is it's a loan. He's not their player. However, seeing it, they're not obliged to give him game time to develop him. They only do so if it is absolutely necessary for them, no matter how we see it. Says Emery Kana Pamuk says Attila Slazai, good defense of Fenerbahce. That is one that I don't understand what really happened. We were late. No, I'm not sure how true that story was then, and that we already signed him. He's going to come to us once the transfer window opens and all that. And I haven't heard much about him right now, which means
you never know. You never know. Maybe collapse. He was done by collapse.
Possibly. So you could be correct, Ty. Limitless says they will play him. Chelsea fans, 1 minute. 1 minute we're complaining. We want a loan. He gets a loan, and now we are worried about if they playing him. Here's the thing: my case is not about him living alone or staying. I'm just analyzing things, saying, okay, they're still looking to bring in players. So he's not going there because we're getting Marc Cucurella. He's playing someone else. And Rodrigo here educated us on the position he believes they're getting him for. They have other players there, but he still believes he still get game time. But my argument is technically he's not theirs. They're not obliged, to ensure he continues his development. The question is, would he be better off remaining at the club or, joining Brighton? But that's why I think we're going to move on from that one and talk about the next player we have here. Instead of Chelsea going in for Aubameyang, why not Nkunku? Nkunku right now, he just renewed his contract, and probably, again, it will be very, very expensive, but that doesn't mean Todd Boehly, again, he hasn't shied away from spending. Probably be looking to get them. If he gets them, fine. I think he will sit the way Thomas Tuchel plays. But that's, by the way, instead, again, I've read that, and my brother here, Chelsea Fan Club, said, Patrick, he's talking about Patrick Schick. Don't just fix the back line, fix the front line too. Okay, thank you for that comment there. Did I not say yesterday that Azpi will not be leaving? You said it. I have to give you that credit. We all thought he was going to leave, and you did say it. You stood by your comment. Now the legend has now signed a 2-year deal, and you guys were saying he was leaving to Barcelona. And you told us, but we all thought he was going to leave for obvious reasons. And from what we're hearing out there, you can't blame us either. Nkunku are better than Timo. We get the argument. Levi will just have to show Graham Potter he has to start him. Yep, he shouldn't take anything for granted. He's coming from Chelsea doesn't mean he's a starter for them. It's in Levi's own hands now to prove he is better than the CBs Brighton have already. That makes a perfect sense. Nkunku might turn out to be a Werner, German tax and all that. We don't know. Nkunku will stay one more year at RB Leipzig by mutual agreement. Release clause next summer at 54 million. That's not bad. That's not bad. Again, but then many other clubs will be interested in bringing him to the club. So we need another CB, a cover for our right wing back, and an attacking player, a rotation. A rotation, again, you've been here for like a million years. You're still using cover and backup. That's warning for you, Just Viola. Says, Sa is going out. I think, Ty, how about that deal? Has it been completed? Okay, Ty is far from his phone. Cucurella is a done deal. Yes, it is. Sorry?
I was muted. My mic was unmuting. Not yet. It should go ahead.
The Mullen-Sad deal, is it done?
It's well, the plan was to get the player in to replace him first, or get somebody in to replace him, and then allow him to leave. Everything was done. He went to France to finalize it, but he had to wait until we replaced it. So in a sense, we did probably what Brighton tried to do, and before confirming everything and before letting it go ahead and giving the green light, we replaced the player first, and maybe that is still the plan. He should be in the squad for tomorrow. It won't be completed necessarily. It could be like Alonso. Probably he gets probably to play or probably be in the squad, and then after that he may leave. Probably like with Tammy, but obviously it's going to be different.
Mm-hmm. Just quickly, let me bring you an IBZ. Let's talk about this here. Again, Chelsea have registered Marc Cucurella in time for a possible debut against Everton on Saturday after his 62 million move from Brighton went through just a minute before the midday deadline. Registration without financial levers isn't for everyone. Again, IBC, I want to get your thoughts on this. Does that mean he plays tomorrow? Why were we in a hurry to register him before tomorrow? Because I still see a risk there. I wouldn't do that if I was the manager.
Well, yeah. Again, I'm happy that my dream is manifesting into reality, low key, through the eyes of these reports. Yeah, I'll sign him because obviously, in terms of the quality he will bring, obviously it will be imminent. But obviously, you could argue his fitness. That's why he's started. Maybe he's not. Obviously, he won't be able to adapt to the team ASAP. He's only going to train this afternoon, and that'll be it. And you're expecting to be ready in terms of team cohesion and being able to adapt to our style of play for him to start. But I reckon Tuchel is going to speak to him. Are you ready? Are you fit? Obviously, he will say he's fit. He's ready. But I think Tuchel
player who loves to play will never tell you they're not ready.
Exactly. And Tuchel may look at it with his coaching stuff and look if his condition is more than 90%, then I believe he can start. They won't have a problem.
But also,
starting.
wasn't he on what do you call it, preseason with Brighton?
No, he wasn't. That's the problem.
No, he wasn't. He was on holiday.
He wasn't.
He didn't train, actually.
He didn't train. He didn't train.
In holiday Spain.
Yeah, he didn't train, so that's why it may not look like he will start. He will be in the squad, I believe. Yeah, I don't think he will start. I want him to. But I think he will be in the squad. He'll be in the squad, probably on the bench. We have 5 subs. I don't see a reason why he won't feature if he's not injured, if he's available. Yeah, I see Alonso starting. I see that starting. And I see Cucurella on the bench. And maybe they feel that they're lacking in that side in which they needed that imminently for that to be ready for Saturday. So maybe they needed to get that registration done because it's no good having him not available, even though he's signed. not even available on a match squad as an option. What if anything happens, you know? So having him there will be very, very needed, especially I mean, why did we sign him? Just, you know, but you know, it's obviously the timing. Obviously, he just signed today. Tomorrow's our game day. It will be a bit like very quick, obviously, for him to start. We all want him. Or I want him to do that, but I have to understand that maybe Thomas Tuchel will have to look and assess that Alonso, be it you've played pre-season, a few matches, you are more fitter than Cucurella. You may be able to start this game, and Cucurella come in second half, in an hour into the game or so. So I understand why they've done it. I mean, they will need to register him. Yeah, so why not now? Why would you not register him now and wait 10 days before Everton, or when Tottenham, and wait to register him before then? So I think he will start against Tottenham. I think I can almost guarantee he will start against Tottenham. But for this game, I can see him in the squad that will, coming in for Alonso. I don't expect him to, but I understand why they've had to register him 100%.
Totally understand. Just quickly, I'm going to catch up again, and I'll go to Lionel Jordan. Let us know whether it's a risk or not, and he can also talk about what we discussed regarding Levi Colwill. But he said, when is Ziyech leaving? I don't know. Again, it doesn't look like the talks it has subsided. Again, we get to see, maybe the club will waiting to bring in some player before we let him go, because every incoming depends, in most cases, outgoings. It's as simple as that. They're all, you could say, depends on what happens. That is outgoings. Create a room for for the incoming. So it's not that simple. Fofana will be getting and De Jong again. Let's see what happens. Again, we'll talk about that too. Says Man United interested in Ziyech. I talked about that before. I didn't know it was going to happen, since it was AC Milan who seemed more serious on getting the player. But it seems like he may well be joining Manchester United. He's worked under Erik ten Hag, and it was in brilliant form for him at Ajax. But we'll see what happens there. Says he always knew something about there's something about Cucurella, and he says that Chelsea selected property with this one. Again, he's a fine player, and I hope to see those numbers that I heard about and I've researched about. Ziyech wouldn't be going to Manchester United. That's a chance that may not happen, but we don't know. Azpi can stay as long as he wants, but hope to never see him at wing back, only at right centre back. If we don't bring in, a competition for Reece James, there's a chance he starts there every now and then again. But we'll see what happens. I thought I took it personally after that Arsenal loss. We needed to give their flowers. Did it for us under Conte, now doing it again under Tuchel. Again, thank you very much for saying that. I appreciate that. Sorry, Cucurella, again, a rotational player. There you go. Now you're sounding like you're the queen of the house. You understand the culture. I should buy a player, a playmaker and a striker. I think those two positions are important. I'm assuming when you say playmaker, you mean like an attacking midfielder who's able, to orchestrate a defense, splitting passes, just like Fabregas did for us, just like Kevin De Bruyne does for Manchester City. We need that type of player. Again, crosses alone would not do it, because we get a lot of crosses from Cucurella, or maybe what's his name? Ben Chilwell, Marcus. What's his name again? Reece James. Whenever he's playing, but we need somebody to be able to orchestrate defense and splitting passes from the central area. Champions of Florida. We will never sing that. Yep, that's what Arsenal. That's what they are. Cucurella official. Yes, to my brother, the Other Time podcast. Thank you for finding the time to join us. If you haven't, please take a second to go check out this YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Again, we have 140 people watching. Please keep liking the video. We need just 11 more likes to get to 100 likes. Let's shoot for 300 likes again today. We broke that record yesterday, so let's try and do it again today. Just 10 more likes to get to 100. So if you haven't, take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. And Julius Opera says, I think we paid this club to play him. Otherwise, Cucurella deal would have ended in 52.5 million. Is that even possible to pay a club to play a player? Lionel, can you come in?
I don't know. I just think that Brighton understood that Chelsea were in a desperate position, that we needed. We haven't had much luck, obviously, other than Koulibaly. We haven't had much luck in getting the defenders that we wanted in, and they were in a strong position. The Cucurella had signed like a five-year deal. They didn't really need financially. They didn't need to sell him, so they were in a strong position. They took their time. Once City said we're not going over 40 and Chelsea came in, they understood that Chelsea really wanted this player, and I think they played around with the finish line a bit. But at the end of the day, we got the player. That's all that matters. And yeah, hopefully he performs to the way that he wants, and I have no doubt that he will.
I get. Yeah, we'll see. Again, I haven't asked you about. Have you talked about the situation of Levi Colwill going over there? I know you've talked about from whether would pay them to field him, to give him game time. Are you concerned that he's not going to get that he would have been better off staying?
I think if he stayed at Chelsea, he wasn't going to get the amount of minutes that he wanted. I think that once he realized that Chelsea were going in for, defenders that can solidify right now, the likes of Koulibaly is a prime example of, what we're kind of looking for. And I think he realized that he wasn't going to get the playing time that he wanted. Going on a loan, I think, is good because it shows his intent that he still wants to be part of the Chelsea squad. He still wants to play for Chelsea. And it just, I don't know. I think it works for all parties. I think that he goes, he gets some minutes under his belt. Whether Brighton get another defender or not, I think it doesn't matter, because if they wouldn't have bought him if they didn't think, or they wouldn't have taken him on loan if they didn't think that they were going to give him at least significant playing time. I think Graham Potter is a smart enough manager to kind of, in these dealings, obviously they understood that Cucurella wanted to leave. He made the decision when he put in the transfer request, and they need to look at, other options. The reality is, he's not experienced enough to be playing at this high level. And we have to remember that Brighton also want to win. Like, they don't have time for, their defenders to kind of adapt to the squad and so on and so forth. They also want to win. They also want the best for their team. So yeah, I think it works for everyone, and I think he's going to do a great job at Brighton, and we'll just see how the season progresses.
And would you play him tomorrow?
Would I play Cucurella tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was, the panel just informed me that he wasn't on preseason with Brighton. I thought...
But we're just learning from the comment on the screen. It kind of says Cucurella, he's had a full preseason, which makes him more fit than Chile, and with Alonso and Emerson, gone. That's probably why we've been so fast as to register him.
Yeah, I think that from Chelsea's point of view, I think Thomas Tuchel is trying to protect Chilwell as much as possible. He made that clear in his press conference earlier today, and I think that's been kind of the conversation throughout the preseason. We don't know what Chilwell's going to come back like. He's had a pretty hectic injury, so it's going to be a while till we get the Ben Chilwell that we had before the injury. So I think there's a bit of protection in there, and if Cucurella is, I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name for it. Cucurella is ready to, if he's ready to play, then why not? Of course, if he had a preseason with Brighton, then it's perfect. He can just slot right in. I think for a left back, it's not as important for him to be as, well versed with the team as maybe an attacking center mid or something like that. I just think that he's got the freedom to run up and down, just do what you did at Brighton, but at Chelsea, basically. So I don't think it's going to take much for, Tuchel to have that conversation with him and play him for him to play the way Tuchel wants him to play. So yeah, I don't see a problem. If possible, I would love to see him play tomorrow.
All right. right. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to come back to the panel if anybody has anything else to add to that. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next topic. Again, I've read that one.
Yes.
And again, it's kind of Doc Clone, Nicofine says, big up, everyone. Again, yep, up the Chelsea. Yes, thank you very much for kindly saying that. Mark Sign, Azpi rejects Barca. What a week. I wouldn't say he rejected Barca. He probably looked at it. They have Kunde. Probably, and what's his name? A younger player in Destas. Sorry?
Araujo.
That is not the case.
Araujo.
That is not the case.
No, I'm just
That's
thinking.
not the case,
That's what I think is the case. They have a couple of other options there, even younger players. So if he's
what I read, Coach, what I read was that they had a personal agreement with Barcelona for a while, but Barcelona were asking him to wait because of registering players and things like that. And I think Azpilicueta wanted to kind of, make his decision and make sure that either before the season started that the decisions were made. So I think that's why at the end, when things weren't working out with Barcelona and Barcelona asked him to wait a little more, he decided just to stay. I think that, anyway, that's what I read.
No.
What do you think happened, Ty? Tobago, I'll come to you in a bit. What happened? Why do you think that he decided to stay?
Because, well, I don't think he decided to stay. He had to stay because Chelsea blocked the move. The fact of the matter is there's no certainty.
And we upped his pay. Right?
Yeah, by 30,000.
That's a lot, but go ahead. And probably Barcelona wouldn't have given him that much money, but go ahead.
Yeah, so that's just salt added to the wound for them. The thing is, for me, I think that he agreed with Barcelona, but in the end, Chelsea decided that the better thing is to keep him around for the transitional period, and giving him that 2 years by adding it onto the 1 year clause that they had to extend him, so they didn't lose him on a free. So I think maybe the plan is to keep him and keep him for the transitional period. But this doesn't mean that he doesn't get sold next summer. It just means that there's more assurance. But I think it's just for the transitional period, just to have somebody who's still experienced in the team, it's probably been looked at as a case where they don't want to lose both Alonso and Azpi in the same window without having some certainty. And I'm pretty sure they would prefer to sell Alonso rather than Azpi. And now that they've brought in Cucurella, it's easier to do that. And with Emerson's future still hanging in the wind, you really can't know what's going to happen. So in terms of that, it's a case where we don't have any rights back other than James if we saw Azpi. So I think maybe the plan is to keep him, and then in the near future you could, if he still wants to go to Barcelona, they allow him. But I think right now it's just to keep him for the transitional period, and because he's been only the only player who is still playing, who has actually been there since a decade ago. So I think keeping him is the only one remaining since 2012. So it's the best thing to do.
Tobago, you wanted to say something. To me, two factors, stood out from what you said. Probably the increase, the increase in the salary, plus Chelsea wanted to keep him. More importantly, and I think the guy, he's shown that he's loyal to the club. Actually, he loves the club, and it was again. But go ahead, Tobago.
Yeah, I just wanted to say what Ty said, because like they said, Chelsea wanted to keep him. That's why they blocked the move, and then they felt like they lost Rudiger, an experienced player from Chelsea, and then they can't just sell Rudiger again, another experienced player. So we need to keep at least experienced players so that they can welcome the new players, they can learn from them until they go.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now let's just naturally switch into talking about again. To me, keeping Cesar Azpilicueta is as important as signing even the biggest name in football. Because the issue we've had before with this club is, just letting players go without looking at, ensuring that there's a bit of consistency in that team spirit. because in Azpilicueta, you can say we have that Chelsea spirit. He inherited because he played alongside DT Drogba. He played alongside Genteri. He's one of the only players left at the club who's played with those players. So if you let him go, yep, you can bring a player who's better on the ball or defends better or adds more to our attacking moves, but you will lose that spine entirely. After losing. Again, I'd be happy him leaving if we still had Antonio Rudiger. If we still had Antonio Rudiger in the team and Cesar Azpilicueta wants to leave and the club lets him go, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't complain either at all. But it will be stupid. It wouldn't make any sort of sense to let him go while we've lost Antonio Rudiger. Then it means we've lost that we don't have, you could say, that measure of you could say we've lost the spine of the team. So keeping him is more than just him getting game time. He doesn't necessarily have to play. It's the leadership. It's about continuity. It's about having that connection with that squad we had then. That team spirit as a younger generation, as they mature, then he can leave knowing that he's also that the younger ones has also learned the Chelsea way, because you could say that has always been the issue, and that's why we struggle to beat mid-level team, bottom table team, because that mentality is an all-round in the whole department of the team. Just a few players here and there. It was Rudiger, it was Cesar Azpilicueta, who again maybe Mount sometimes. You see that Chelsea spirit in them because they are Chelsea through and through, having graduated from the club's academy. So I want to get your thoughts, IBZ. What do you think about us keeping Azpi? Are you for us keeping him, or do you think we've been better off letting him go? To me, I'd say keeping him is important. It's not about game time, and I think the club understands that. It's not about him coming in, starting over Reece James or that. No, I think it goes beyond that. I want to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I think you guys hit the nail on the head there. He's captain leader over the past 10 years now. You're going into his 10 years. He's been Mr. Consistent.
Is he the greatest signing in Chelsea history?
Possibly.
Arguably no.
Possibly for 8 million.
For 8 million, and what he's given to the club?
No, 100%. You're not wrong. I can't say you're wrong, but I'll have to argue that there's others that have done more. But obviously, that's another argument for another day, I'm sure. But in the case of Cesar, the definition of a model footballer, a man that tucks in his shirt and his shorts, yeah. Yeah.
Please finish that. Oh my
gosh, that's hilarious.
A man that tucks in a shirt and his shorts, yeah, is not here for fashion. He's not here for swagger. He's here to do a job, yeah. And his commitment. He doesn't keep up a fuss. He doesn't he has to stay. He has to. Todd Bowley and Thomas Tuchel has identified that this leader needs to, not just Thomas Tuchel, but Cesar needs to embed these new players and welcome him into the squad, welcome into the culture, welcome into the banter of things, welcome into the style of things. And it will be very, very helpful. A compatriot to Marc Cucurella, so we have someone that can, talk to him, advise him, settle him well. All the places they want to go in London, Cucurella will speak to Cesar, will probably speak to Marcus. These cohesions, these dynamics within the squad helps. In terms of Koulibaly, we have Jorginho there as well. So Cesar as well as Jorginho, it just breeds positivity, and it breeds excitement and optimism for this squad to have the current dynamics it has and not falter, because these new signings will come and we will be expecting more. And Cesar will need to, if it is Aubameyang, Cesar will need to welcome Aubameyang and show him around Cobham and bantered or everything. And if it is, I don't know, Dumfries, I don't know, Ronaldo, I don't know, he's gonna have to do that job because he is the leader of the squad. He is the captain. He is the person to show you around, to let you know. And he's the only last of the dying breed of that Roman era, of that core. Obviously, you can argue he came after he won the Munich match, when that breed of players, he was still there for another era. The Jose Mourinho 2.0, Rafa Benitez era. He's been there, so he knows it. He's worked with John Terry, Drogba. He knows the culture, Lamps. He knows.
He's won everything at Chelsea.
Exactly. So there is no reason why this guy can just leave. And like you just alluded to, Coach, it's not about game time here, because he may understand that his game time may be limited, but what his role in the dressing room is more than what game time can provide. I'm sorry.
Yep.
So,
the only thing is that why I think we should talk about it is most people think he's staying because we want him to play, even play in Reece James' position, play in the right centre back position. He will play. He will play. But I think I think at this point in his career and what he's achieved, who he is an exemplary professional. Let's not forget that. I think this guy, the club is keeping him not just because they want him to play. No, he means more. He helps, instill that Chelsea mentality on the younger generation.
Exactly.
They've seen it. They know. And that's why Thomas Tuchel has always been reluctant to let him go.
Plus, we have 5 substitutes this season. Let's not forget.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we're going to need a big squad. We're going to need players that can come on and, like if we're winning 1 or 2-0, someone that can come on and solidify that defense. And Azpilicueta does that.
Exactly.
No matter how old he is. So
Exactly. He can still cross the ball, mate. He can still whip that ball in, mate. So I will be as much as he's a leader and everything. And yes, he hasn't done any wrong in my eyes ever. I can't lie to you. I'm not even capping. I can't even say, man, why do we have this? I've never uttered any words about him. So I'll even still expect him to have the level of consistency, bro. Because he is that. He provides that. And if he doesn't provide that, I'll know it's because of his age or what have you, because he is that he's that guy. The level of expectancy I have of Azpilicueta because of the way he provides himself is to still give top-notch performances, and and he does that. So he can't do any wrong in my eyes.
Yeah, I think I'm happy that he's staying. Like I said, he is more than just a footballer for us. And again, the club understands that, and that's probably why they decided to keep him. So, but that's, by the way, again, this is them. They're making fun of the away kit. It looks a bit, again, until I see it up close, I think it looks a bit ugly. If that was what you guys are referring to.
Really?
I've ordered it. I've ordered it through.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've already got the home one. I don't know. I don't like the home one.
You don't like the home one?
I don't know. I've got it and I've worn it and I've seen it. I'm like, let me just get the away one. So yeah, I'm gonna get the away one, definitely.
I think it looks.
Yeah. So let's see what else we have here. And Crazy E says, I think we overpaid for Marc Cucurella. It's okay, especially if Colwill becomes the player. We hope he will. Okay, if you see it that way in this market, I think it's still a good price. There's a reason why we paid them that much. Somebody argued we're paying them to play Marc Cucurella, but we'll see. Watching live from Bahrain, love Chelsea. Thank you very much for joining in. While we're at it, please take a second to let us know where you're watching from. That encourages us to do even more. Again, thank you guys for all the love you're showing this channel. Again, if you haven't, do like the video and also subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, we still have 123 people watching. That's not a bad number at all. So please keep liking the video. Again, did Chelsea overpay for Marc Cucurella? That's what the poll asks, and we have 49% saying yes, 51% saying no. I think it's pretty much balanced at this moment. So I'll let it run for a bit. Right wing and a striker. The club, believe me, like I've always told you, the chances are they are well and truly hard at work behind the scenes, but we just don't know. Again, says here, the Young saga might drag to September 4th. There's a chance given they owe him money. And him saying that he wants to stay at Barca is simply a way of saying, again, I need my money before I leave this club. Again, but, he wouldn't come out and say that. This signing is a strong message to rivals that has written us off. And also, we need to give credit to Todd. I have never doubted him. Again, but I still, if the deal for De Jong doesn't happen, he must explain why he had to travel all the way to Spain to have a meeting with Juan Laporta and all that. So it's not balanced yet. It's still 5-1. If we're counting, if we're thinking we've gotten back at them. Yes, go ahead.
If we get Fofana and De Jong, for example, right? Doesn't that take out like transfer budget to over 300 million?
Oh yeah, 100%. Low key, it's rising.
It's rising.
Money is rising. Low key, we're already on the 200 mark already.
Here's the question I've always asked people: is
but
this again?
I'm not angry. I'm okay. Do what you have to do what you got to do in it. That's what I want. Even if my whole argument in this. My whole play on this year is that we need to strengthen in defense, attack, and midfield. That's been my foundation. After that, it's been have the best people in place so you can get what targets you need. You can sign 15, you can sign 10, you can sign 28. I don't care. You can sign 1. Just make sure you have the best people in place. So all my concern is how we've approached. And we are making signings, but we still got more to do. So we'll just see how it plays out. And hopefully Todd Bowley, from now on, because he's getting a lot of credit now, but from now on in, just make sure you have the best people in place so these things, again, will be swift and easy and swift. But I'm okay. We're signing players last, innit? I didn't, personally, if you ask me, I thought this was going to drag out. I thought it was going to drag out. I thought we're going to have another. No faith. I didn't really, my brother, I'm with you, because I didn't really see it. I thought we were going to drag this one out, but he's pulled it out the bag. Hopefully, he can pull more out the bag because the quickness, the timing in which he's done this deal is fairly quick. I'm actually surprised. He's got it done within a week, if you want to say that. So hopefully, within another week, we've got 2 or more. I'm not expecting Fofana, but that Aubameyang deal is looking like it's got legs. So if it's got legs,
I think also
and it's moving, please get it done.
If we put on a good performance against Everton, I think it's going to calm the fans down a bit. I know. Yes. I will definitely be way calmer for the.
Yes, I think I just need to see him play.
If we give a good performance, so should be good.
Should be good, man.
Yeah, let me catch up with the chat and I'll see what Ty has to say with Azpilicueta staying again. Yes, we need a player like Fab who can split the defense or give accurate passes. That's the truth. Again, I'm going to skip quite a few. Madison not going to Newcastle and it's signing a new deal. So it could open the door for us to get Fofana with a new 70 million bid expected to go in. There's something I've been reading out there that doesn't make sense in any way. How is it that possible anybody calls themselves a journalist will come out and say, Chelsea are going back in with a new 70 million bid, even though they're willing to meet the 85 million valuation of the player? I'm like, what is this? Ty, can you comment on that one, please? Looks like Ty again is far away from his microphone, but I'm going to from his phone. I'm going to keep reading until he comes back. I want to get his thoughts on that. We 100% overpaid for Cucurella.
I think he's back.
We need to sign him, and we can recoup the money spent by selling Alonso and Emerson. Brighton on loan is perfect for Colwill. I get the argument. Here's the thing: we suspected that was going to happen, given the fact that we're in a desperate situation. We find ourselves in a desperate situation, not by design. Circumstances, caused it, but which is understandable. The good thing is that even though we're overpaying, so in other words, you could argue this is a panic buy. But the good thing is that we're paying that amount for a player that we really do want. It'd be worse if we're paying that amount of money for a player that that will not fit the way the manager likes to approach the game. So that's what I'm talking about here. It says, let me see what we have here next. Cucurella played 3 preseason games for Brighton. He only missed the last one after he handed in the transfer request, which means he is, fit enough. He's been training very well. That's by the way. I'm going to scroll and say hello to some people here that I haven't said hello to. Again, I saw DJ Sav in the chat, and Deals CFC, big up to you. He says, big up Cucurella. Didn't overpay for Cucurella because young star Levi going out on loan to Brighton. It's good a deal for all. So, can you? I'm not sure how that's a good deal, but you have your the right to present your argument. And that next targets now for Fofana and Frenkie De Jong, and 2 new or 1 new striker. I think that's quite a lot. DJ says, big up Cucurella, the panel, and everyone in the chat. A great day all around. Cucurella finally signs, and Colwill only gone on loan. That's a good deal on the surface. Hopefully they play him with no buyback option. Shows how much Chelsea and TT rate Colwill. They rate him quite well, but I'm really concerned. Are they going to give him enough game time again? But we'll see. I'm very happy for Chelsea signing Cucurella. I think we all are. He's a really, really good signing for us. Again, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom one more time. Let me read one comment from him today. It says that Tuchel is just a bad coach. Really? Yes, he got a free title as gift. Jorginho won it for him, but Tuchel failed at PSG. Now on Chelsea transfers.
Failed.
Okay, I'm not sure. Again, wish you could elaborate more to explain what you're talking about. Azpi going nowhere. Again, yep, that's a good one. Okay, you have to fight to slug it out there with DJ. So I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Apologies. Again, there's quite a lot to read. He says, question to Chelsea fans, are you happy with signing Alba? The guy has an Arsenal tattoo on his arm. Oh, okay. I didn't know that, but he can clean it off. Chelsea fans happy to see him playing in that with our rivalry with Arsenal. That's not a concern for me in any way. That's not a concern for me in any way, and I have to say that and say it quite well. Sterling's time was over at City. He's just not the same player anymore, but okay, he's still good for 10, 15 goals. That's not a bad number given what we have and what we've been through. Again, Harry Redknapp has said in an interview that he knows for a fact that De Jong wants to go to Chelsea. How did he know? But I want to know. If he wants to come to us, that's fine. And Barca wants to sell him.
Harry Redknapp is trying to roll back the deadline day years and trying to give us the insight. No, Harry.
Yeah, I hope Cucurella starts tomorrow because Barca are trying to complete Alonso's deal as soon as possible. So playing Alonso is not ideal. Might set an injury concern with. Okay, I get that argument. Now let's see what we have here again. Good afternoon, Lalo. How are you doing? Thank you very much for finding the time to join us. Alba can get it. Yep, Leicester. That's how you take out the Tuesdays days. Yep. Thank you very much, Ty. Ty, are you back on the panel? I don't think Ty is even closer to his phone. So I'm going to go to Louisa, who just joined us to update us on the new signing for the women's team. We don't know anything about it, about her. Shame on us on the panel, none of us, again, but you're here. But before Louisa comes in, I want to say thank you for 111 likes. Remember, we're shooting for 300 likes. We started that trend yesterday. Let us continue. We still have 139 people watching and 111 likes. Please go ahead, like the video if you haven't, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Louisa, can you update us on the new signings for the women's team? Let me see if I can find her picture.
Yeah, good afternoon, Coach. Good afternoon from me, actually, but I know it's morning for you, so good morning to you.
No worries.
Yeah, the signing we just made actually was kind of, it's not like it came out of the blue, considering like most people already knew, like maybe 2-3 days ago about it, and because she's Swedish, so the Swedish media already announced it that she's most likely moving to Chelsea it kind of, our interest in her kind of came out of nowhere for most people. I think maybe some might have known about it, but because she just played in the just concluded Euros, and everybody was amazed with her. Everybody thought that she was going to go to Arsenal because the current Arsenal women's coach coached her previously in while she was playing in the Swedish professional league. So, and we already have like a plethora of attacking talents. So it kind of felt like she would not want to come because there's so little space, and maybe she might not want to compete for space compared to where she would have gone to Arsenal and probably had more guaranteed game time than coming to Chelsea. So a lot of us just thought, no way she's coming here. Plus the fact that her coach, our former coach, is at Arsenal, she might want to go there. But we managed to pull this off, and it's kind of it's surprising, and I'm still trying to think about what angle we pulled this deal from, because she's a winger and we do have wingers, but she would be an improvement on what we already have on ground. She has a different skill set to any of our current wingers, so it's an interesting option to have. And also she's able to kind of rotate from that wing position to midfield, which we do need midfielders, but at the same time we don't really know what's going on in the coach's head right now, because the players we are going after, we are getting them. And it's kind of pissing off the rival fans off, because now there's a whole argument on Twitter with Arsenal fans and United fans, kind of like, why didn't she come to us? We could have used that. She would get more playing time with us compared to what she would get at Chelsea, because we do have the talent, and it's not like that easy to just break into the starting 11, and we do have a coach that is big on rotation, so we should see her making an impact in the team. I'm excited to see what she's going to do, because she is an exciting talent.
Maybe I missed it. Did you tell us what position she plays and how good she is?
Yeah. I said she plays as a winger. So, but sometimes she's able to come into the midfield, but that's not like a natural position. But primarily she's a winger, and that's like one of the best. Someone did a research about her about 2-3 weeks ago, because she did play in the Euros, and people were like, she might get a big move soon, because she was making some very good plays, and she was actually the top winger in terms of stats among the top 7 women's league in Europe.
Yeah, thank you very much again, that's why I always like to have you, but again, you abandoned us for a while because the women's competition was on, but it's understandable. Again, it's always nice to have you. Your knowledge of football is awesome, even when we talk about the men's team. And I'm going to come back to you with a question on how excited you are about the club signing Marc Cucurella before we move to the next topic. But by the way, this is a very funny comment. I'm guessing Lola is talking about the whole adult nonsense in the chat, and she said, "What the F?" But that brought his friends. Yeah, it was so much. I was concerned. Even the software wasn't, didn't handle it quickly enough. But thank you guys. You guys did a nice job for handling it. So maybe they'll take a break before they come back again. And again, because we're growing, we'll start seeing more and more and more of that. Maybe I have to make the robots even more stricter to handle it.
There's something else you can do. There's something else you can do.
Yeah.
In settings on YouTube Studio, you can increase strictness on comments.
Yeah, I think I've done that already, actually. That's why sometimes it highlights some comments. But I think they find a way, they're creative about it. They use the word love and all that, so you wouldn't even see it as anything bad. It is us that are watching that will get to know, oh, this is nonsense. But I'll look at it again. Maybe I missed it. Overpaying wouldn't matter if the performance exceeds expectations. It's as simple as that. It's always been that way in football. It's a risk that big clubs must take. Then if the player performs, nobody will be talking about how much you paid for the player. The argument will now be the narrative will not be what the player has been. It's money well spent and all that. Yep, everybody in the chat concerned so much of it. Yep, I saw it and I was like, what the heck is going on here? Not enough to win anything. We'll see. Again, Nightbot is being tested. Yeah, and it took him time to respond. So probably you could say he passed it, but with your help, the Nightbot passed it. Ben Jacob said yesterday on Football Terrace, we again said what Chinedu, please. We can't find that. Chikaze Bright says, "Good evening, bro. Again, good morning from here. I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. It's been a while. Please do let us know that you're doing well. We can only sign either Fofana or De Jong, but not both." Really? Ty, what do you think about that comment? Is that true? Do you think it's true?
I didn't see it.
This one that says we can only sign either Fofana or De Jong, but not both. Why is that? I think probably Chinedu, are you concerned about the fees combined?
I think I get why. Because of the price tag.
Possibly, but I don't think it's a concern now.
Based on, I think probably people are going based on what they've heard in terms of what we call it, the transfer budget is. People are saying 300 million, and because of that, if it goes up to using hypothetically 80 million for Fofana and possibly 80 million for De Jong, that will go over 300 million. So people are probably assuming that means that you can only get either one.
No, but the question is, where are they getting those numbers from? Nobody told us how much we're going to spend, and we learned. Yeah, go ahead.
I think maybe it's coming from the fact that we were hearing that Todd Bowles took an 800 million loan, 500 to invest in the stadium rebuild, and 300 in terms of blustering the squad. So I think people are assuming that the transfer budget that is being utilized is the one that he took a loan for. It's a loan for him, so it's not the club have to pay it back. The consortium itself has to pay it back, not the club itself. So I think maybe people are using that, but I don't really think so, because we can still sell players and get some more funds as well. And we have to sell, because we have to do what we did last year in terms of how we got Lukaku in and leveled the books with FFP and everything, in terms of selling, in terms to get back the funds that we're going to lose. And plus, we're going to be selling players, so you never know, we could use those funds. But I've always said that if we do go for De Jong, it's going to be probably in the final stages of the transfer window. I don't think it's going to be probably like next week or something. It's probably later down, because we need to ensure that he wants to leave, and not a case in which we have to force him out of the club. There's no guarantee that we even go for him if he doesn't indicate that he wants to leave, which right now he doesn't, because he wants to get that wage that is being owed to him by Barcelona.
Lionel, do you think that would be the case? We can only get either Fofana or De Jong, that we can't get them both. I don't think that's the case. We're actively pursuing both actually right now. But your thoughts?
Yeah, look, the way Big Todd is moving, I wouldn't put it past him, hey? It should be interesting to see. But yeah, I think it's a lot. It's a lot to do, especially in the time that's left. There's a lot to do. I think the Fofana deal is going to take up most of the time, because we know how Leicester negotiates, especially when it comes to signings that they don't necessarily want to let go of. We saw what they did to Man United with Harry Maguire. So yeah, it should be a tough one from the Leicester point of view. But from Barcelona, I think that might be an easier buy, because it's obvious that Barcelona wants the player to go, and he's not, he doesn't want to go to United. But at the same time, it's been reported that the only place that he would want to go outside of staying in Barcelona is Chelsea. So if that's correct, then Big Todd has to do what Big Todd has to do, man. So, like I said, looking at how he's been handling this transfer window, going for De Ligt at one point, and that was going to be about 80. So he's happy. It looks like he's happy and able to spend 80 million on a defender. No, and also I don't think De Jong is much of a priority, but I don't think that it would be a problem either, to be honest.
No, I don't think it would be a problem. Again, in terms of the numbers, I don't think it's an issue. As the new owners will learn that they are allowed to spend certain amount of money without even, get into trouble in terms of FFP rules. So I think we're fine. But it just sounds like people are concerned about the price tag we're learning. And here's Lemlen saying that Thomas Tuchel said on his press conference he expects more signings. So that should tell you that we're going to see even more players. Says, let me see if there's anything else to read here. We'll just move on. Predictions. Aubameyang was signed on deadline day. If that happens, then I'll give you my heart. What happened to Cucurella? What's that question? Did I at any time disappear from the screen? Who's that Spanish flag? Please say hello. And that's Louisa. Somebody saying say hello. Her name is Lola. Wants you to say hello.
Hello to you, Lolo.
Okay, you got your wish there. And again, thank you very much, guys. Says Alba won't be signing Chelsea. He ain't leaving Barcelona. Again, I think we've heard that argument before, and that may well end up being the case. Who did we lose from the panel? That was IBZ. Okay, probably he comes back again. So again, I'm gonna come to you, Louisa. I know you've told us about Johanna or Joanna. I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but that's, by the way, the question I want to ask you about is about Marc Cucurella. How excited are you about that signing? What do you think? How important do you think he'll be for us?
Actually, the main reason I'm excited, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's not even just because we signed him as a player. Is because we went after him and we did get him. That was one of the reasons I'm excited. So people can't really say the manager is not being backed or something, because there's no way these are Todd decision, and it's only the two people making decision right now is either Todd or Thomas. So we are backing the manager, and Thomas has proven to be a very intelligent coach. He's able to get the best out of players that are willing to. So I'm excited to see what he does, because actually we've not really had, but someone of this Cucurella's profile has been kind of something that's a little bit missing, and in that defense line with Koulibaly and Thiago, I think Cucurella will actually bring enough energy that's going to just really make the team kind of gel together. I hope that we're able to find the perfect mix and chemistry of playing these teams. But I feel like our transfer window went from 0 to 100, and it felt like everybody was like, give us this transfer window to make mistakes, figure out the team, get rid of some people, try and start to build something. But towards the end of the transfer window, it kind of seems like we might actually be able to compete for something by the time the season starts. And I'm happy that we've gotten to that point of the transfer window. I just want it to be over right now, because we've been through one hell of a roller coaster with this window.
Yeah, again, I think you hit the nail right on the head. The most important thing is that we went for him and we were able to get him. Again, that has you could say on 2 occasions we went for players and we didn't get them for one reason or the other. But we're not going to go into that, by the way. Premier League is back, baby. Chelsea tomorrow. But till then, there's an Arsenal game tonight. If you guys are looking for comedy, again, I'll watch it because I want to see them lose. Patrick, sorry?
Wow.
Yeah.
You want to see them lose?
Yeah, I want to see Arsenal lose. Yeah, not because they beat us, or because I'm not sure that performance against us was good. And they were better than us on the day. But I still don't think. I think you only see Arsenal at their best when they play us. You could argue that, and that's how I see it. But that's, by the way, I think we should just move on to the next topic, which is I want us to talk about what's going on. The Wesley Fofana, the talk that that we're actually willing to pay the 85 million valuation of the price of the player, which I think is absolute nonsense. I don't see that. I don't see that being the possibility. If we're willing to pay that is the fee, the quoted fee, I don't think it's being public. And why would the person that posted that in the same post say, okay, we're willing to pay the player's evaluation, and then we're going back in with 17 million? It just doesn't make sense. If we're willing to pay it, and I'm sure Leicester already knows it, if somebody could share that in a tweet, Leicester City already knows that. And my question is this: let me start with you, Lionel. Again, is it worth it? For how much? 85 million?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of money. I think it's a risk, but he has shown that he is a really good centre back. He has shown the signs of being a top centre back, and it's one of those where you have to risk it. You just have to risk it. It is what it is, and I think that
85 million.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is the market right now. If you want there's a small pool of top quality young players right now, and if you want to dip your hands in there, you have to pay a lot of money to do so. So if that's what we need to do, then it is what we need to do. He's Premier League proven. Yes, there's worries about the long-term injury that he had. It might be an issue going forward, but he's looked good in his last few games. He's looked like he's back to his form. So why not? Why not? I think it would be a good signing. I do have my reservation with 85 or 80 million. I think it's tough, but if you want to get the best, you have to pay for it, and you have to take those risks. And unfortunately, we're in the situation where we have to take the risk. We have two aging centre backs. We need someone young. We need someone that's going to be there for a while, and we just have to take that risk. If it's 80, 85 million, we have to do it.
Don't you think the price tag alone will be an added pressure on him?
Yeah, but this is the reality of these young footballers today. I mean, De Ligt, went for 80 something to Bayern Munich. So it's the reality of football. This is where football is right now. There's been an inflation on players' transfers, and that's just where football is. So part of being a professional is being able to either deal with that pressure or not. And we won't know until he plays. And I think having guys like Koulibaly and Thiago Silva next to him to teach him the ropes, to protect him at times, because he's going to need that, it's going to be fantastic. Thomas Tuchel, the way he deals with these players, also he loves to protect his players and make sure that they have a clear mind going into each match and going into each competition. So I don't see why not. I see, yes, of course it's going to be a big issue. People are going to talk about it. But I think that he has enough protection. He has enough experience around him to kind of allow him to find his bearings at the football club.
I'm going to quickly, again, there's nothing to catch up in the chat. If I see anything, I'll read it. Again, thank you for 122 likes. Remember, we're shooting for 300 likes by the end of the show. We can still do it, but only if you support us, we can do that. Again, the poll that asks the Chelsea overpay for Marc Cucurella, 51% says yes and 49% says no. Again, it's close. It's pretty close, but most people think we're overpaid. Quite a lot think we're Dean. But that's, by the way, if he does quite well, I think we'll all forget about the price tag. But I'm still concerned, and I'll come back with the what's his name? The question regarding Wesley Fofana. Again, let me see anything else aligned to what we're talking here. It's Kami says 60 million is a great deal for both sides. Fofana wants to leave, and with its injury record, they cannot expect us to pay 80 million plus. That's one of the reasons why I'm thinking that tweet is absolute nonsense. It just doesn't make sense, because no matter how you see it, no matter how convincing Bobby sounded that day, or no matter how convincing my friend and brother Declan sounded, I still think he's injury prone. Again, those injuries we looked at that day were all changed. It was not like one happened this month and the other happened the next 2 months. It was just one after the other, one after the other, sometimes 3 times in a year or twice in a year. But that's, by the way, says again, I've read that. It just doesn't make sense to me. Again, let me see this also. Sorry? What did you say, Ty?
Did you confirm?
I didn't get what you said, Ty. What did you say?
Did you get it confirmed that it was one after the other?
We had the statistics on the screen there. It was not like, but even if it's a few months space, I'll find it and show it again. It is still changed. But the question we're going to start by, I'll share it on the screen a bit. Go ahead.
The statistics didn't prove anything, because all that says to me is that because they never permanently or they didn't in a way that assured or had guarantee that the injury will not reoccur, contingency as a problem, because the situation, especially with Chilwell, the reason why things went worse is because they were trying to see if they could do light training to avoid surgery, but the end that could happen. And Fofana, I remember one of them said 60 plus days he was over, and he missed 1 game or 2 games, or in some sense 13 games. If it was a case where they got surgery for him, it would have meant that he would be over for the season or for 6 months. Without doing that, he didn't do that at his previous club before Leicester. So obviously those issues will still reoccur. If they had rectified the problem that he had, that could have never happened. But those stats didn't really prove to say that, okay, he recovered from the injury and got about the same injury. That could have quite easily have been Brendan Rodgers said, okay, he's going to be out for 2 weeks. 2 weeks past, he's still not ready. And transfer market, because transfer market don't really do the deep dive. They don't tell you that, okay, he got injured on this time and this is the reason why it happened, and it was a collision, it was this. So for me, I can't say that it was a recurring one where he got the same injury again, because it could have been a case where he still had the same injury, but because it doesn't specify when, it could have been that 2 weeks he's out for, and then he comes out again saying that, okay, he's not ready, so give him another week and then he'll be back. So that could have quite easily have led to that. But the other one that you can't excuse it for is when he had a completely different injury from the one that had him out for long.
Yeah.
I get your argument. Go ahead, Rodrigo. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that is actually right as well. You know, when a player, I don't know how that site actually worked out. So if a player is out injured, obviously he's going to miss the next game. And then maybe when the player comes back, maybe the player is back, but he's not back playing. So I don't know how that site practically knows. Does the site just say, right, he didn't play X game, it took X amount of days for him to play the next game? But does it take in account
we had that too. The statistic we looked at had that.
Tells you that. Does it tell you? Obviously, it tells you the number of games that the player missed. But does it know when maybe the player is back, but he's not back to play the games? So that site might still think he's still injured. I don't know. I get what Ty was saying. He's like, I don't know if the stats was clear. I don't know.
No. He's not playing this. I've heard he's not playing this weekend because one of my mates told me on the phone today is that literally Chelsea have actually agreed. They're trying to agree to a bid for Fofana. Maximum.
I'm not going to argue against you this time. You were correct yesterday. Go ahead.
I told you I was correct because I told you about Azpi, but you lot said
it wasn't just me. Ty also thought it was ridiculous. The club thought it was ridiculous, but it turns out you were correct.
I was correct. I was correct yesterday.
Right, but go ahead. Here's the thing I want you to answer now, on Chelsea fan.
All right.
Would you pay? Rodrigo, you haven't even told us, Rodrigo. I'll come back to you, Rodrigo. So even if you're not concerned about his injuries, if you don't think he's injury prone, would you pay 85 million for him? Of which I think it's ridiculous. I don't think we'll pay anything north of 70. I still believe that seriously. But would you pay 85 million for Fofana?
No, I can't justify that. It's a lot of money. I'd rather pay that for Declan Rice. this is too much money. I've got a controversial opinion. I think we need a right wing back more than we need a right wing back more than a centre back, but we need a right wing back that can play as a centre back when is needed, rather than a pure centre back. That's a different conversation. But £85 million, I don't know how I can justify that. I know it's not directly coming out of my pocket, but it's too much money. I think anything more than 70 is already a bit scary. To pay 70 million for I would pay 70 million if I was obviously one of the decision makers. But £85 million, I'm afraid that's too much. I can't pay that for centre back.
I wouldn't either. Even if I like him, I wouldn't pay that much money for him, because you have to consider a couple of factors now, which is something like the price tag being an issue for a young player at his age. How old is he now?
23?
22, I think.
Yeah.
So he's still too young.
Coach, I have a question. Where do we go to after Fofana? Right? The lift didn't work out. Kunde didn't work out. We got Koulibaly. So what's next? Who do we go to next?
We're still interested trying to sign Skriniar from Inter Milan, but more focused Chelsea are more in focus on Fofana. I would pay 85 million for Fofana just to get it done the other way, but I know it's a lot of money. But like Rodrigo said in the chat, it's basically it's too much money with the injuries. Like, it's football these days now. Predictions. Who would you look how much Man United paid for Harry Maguire last season. That was a lot of money.
How did that pan out?
It panned out bad for Man United, because look how it's been worse for Man United. Harry Maguire. I just don't know what's in his head. And then all the news with the international. But Fofana, he's a quality centre back. Yes, he's just turned 23.
Maguire was.
Yeah, but Maguire, he slacks. He just don't. He's a guy who slacks. On my opinion, it was a big mistake for Man United paying that much money for Harry Maguire. Fofana is a totally different player to Harry Maguire. Fofana, he wants to adapt to football. He wants to play football. Yes, his injuries. It's 50-50.
Honestly, you're confusing me now. When Maguire was at Leicester City, he led the back line for them, although they still had what's his name, the Jamaican international. I think Maguire led too. In his absence, Maguire was able to lead that back line, which was why Manchester United wanted him. He looked good there.
Because what it is, Harry Maguire looked good at Leicester, but Leicester's not. You got to understand, Leicester are not a bigger club than Man United, right? He went to Man United, right, to play for a bigger club, and now since he's played for a bigger club, it's all nerves for him. He can't adapt to the way Man United was playing on the system. Yeah, with Harry Maguire, it's just not good enough as a centre back for Man United now. Like, a lot of people talk about it. Like, Man United fans have said they wanted him to go, but since the last 2 seasons, it's been bad for him. But for Fofana, it's a totally different player to Harry Maguire. Fofana, he might have injuries. I would pay the 85 million for Fofana, because he will be one of the best centre backs in this world. Like, Fofana, yes, he has injuries, but I know he's not worth 85 million. But it's a new season. It's a new adaptation to the Premier League. Football teams buy big players. Like Cucurella, we just paid 62 million for him, and they were all saying we paid 52.5 million for him. We just paid 62 million for him. He ain't worth 62 million, Cucurella, but in the day we paid it. It's football now. This is what football priority does.
Mate, as much it still doesn't justify what we should pay so much for.
You see, I think even 75 wouldn't make sense to me. I have to be honest with you. I get your point. You said you will pay. You didn't tell us. Would you pay 85 million for Fofana, and why?
No,
Or
I will not pay 85.
You will not what?
I will not pay. I will not pay 85 million.
Would you pay? Let's say, how about 75?
No.
Can you tell us why?
Well, I mean, although I'm trying to defend the fact that the stats that you were showing about the injuries doesn't really guarantee if he had got back the same injury after he supposedly recovered after the 60+ days that he was out. I think those, when it comes to a player who has had those issues where they haven't had surgery to try to rectify that problem that continuously happened to them, or in the case him having a broken foot previously, or him recovering from it, it's not the most ideal thing. I mean, although I think he is a good player, he has the ability to become a good leader. He's one of the best defenders that City have, and that's one of the reasons why he's valued that highly. I mean, they have I think his name is Evans and players who haven't really been the most consistent. They did sign Vestergaard, but Vestergaard barely played games for them. So I think in that sense, it's not really the most ideal thing. But although I think with player, that is overspending on a player that in the past, although it's not necessarily his fault, because most of these injuries have come out of unfortunate circumstances. It's not the most ideal thing to spend on a player who has never had surgery to rectify, and instead of doing surgery that will probably take out the season.
Ty, it looks like your audio is really breaking up. Sometimes it's hard to hear what you're saying.
Right, Ty, sorry for a minute, coach. Right, last season, Fofana's stats was one of the best stats for Leicester for playing centre back last season. So, what makes you why not pay for the 85? He was the best centre back for Leicester last season with his stats.
How many games did he play? How many games did he play?
He played 22 games. 22 games last season, right? And his stats were most passes and defensive stats was brilliant last season.
Here's the thing. Do you know that some people would argue?
Last season just gone. Last season just gone. Yeah, he played 22 games and his stats were brilliant.
2022.
22 to 2023 last season. Yeah, 21-22 season. Yeah, last season he played 22 games, right? The season just gone when Man City won the Premier League, right? Yeah, he played 22 games and his stats was unreal for Leicester.
Let me come to you, Louisa. I get the argument. Forget the number of games he played. Actually, if you watched the Leicester defense last season, they were shambolic. It takes a good footballing mind to isolate Fofana and scout him as an individual. Because collectively, people will tell you we shouldn't be paying that much money for him because the Leicester City defense were shambolic this past season. But you have to, isolate him to see how good he was as a player. Leicester would need to sell in order to buy up because the fullback Ricardo Pereira is out for 6 months and Harvey Baines is out for a few weeks too. It makes sense. And again, it seems Watson Madison is extending, right? We heard that. So the only option now, they have to sell Fofana. Forget what Brendan Rodgers is saying in public. It's very common. It's a natural thing for him to do. You're not going to get them again. They have to play hard to get, and for them to get a sizable fee for the sale of the player. But I think Fofana is actually making it easier on us. And I'm going to reiterate what I said before. I'm not going to pay anything out of 70 for him if I were Chelsea, but then again, it is just me. We could argue here from this point to tomorrow morning, the club will go in and pay 90 million. Actually,
Coach.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, if he didn't have the injuries, would you pay 80 million for him?
Even at that, I wouldn't. There's some factors you have to consider. Some players don't deal with the pressure of the price tag they come with. Some players are not able to deal with that. We've seen that ourselves.
All right, coach.
You understand?
Okay, coach. So you
especially at Chelsea, players will sign up for that. That is some astronomical fees, if you want to phrase it that way. Only a few. How many of them has actually done well?
What, for Chelsea?
Yeah. How many of the players were signed for a fee that the world was going, whoa, that's too much, and they ended up doing well for us?
Well, we had Chalobah, who did well. We had
What?
Tomori, who did well for us that season before that, but he went to AC Milan.
Okay.
But coach, I know it's the argument, but say you don't want to pay for Fofana for 85 million, yeah? What other centre backs would you want to pay for 85 million?
Skriniar is cheaper. As much as I like Fofana, he's a good player. I haven't actually taken the time to compare him and Skriniar. Skriniar is a fine player who can also play on the left, on the right, whether in a back three or in a back four. He's proven that when Bastoni got injured, he held the ground comfortably until he returned, and he's aggressive too.
Yeah, but coach, he's going to turn
let me say this. My point is, rather than paying anything, it's north of 70 million for Fofana, I'd rather pay 65. I think Inter will take 65 for Skriniar. But that's, by the way, they rejected, I think, 50 million plus from PSG, and he has just a year, or is it a year or 2 years left on his contract? I'm quite sure, even if they're hopeful of keeping him, there's also a risk that he doesn't accept whatever they want to offer him, and then he gets to live on a free soon. But that's, by the way, I'm going to move on. I'll bring in Luisa, then I'll get DJ Saab's thoughts on the price tag. And again, I still don't believe we will pay that amount. It's crazy. Even the tweet that talked about it just doesn't make sense. How is it that the Chelsea would be willing, they'd be willing to meet the asking price, and then again be going back a second time with 70 million pounds? Does that make sense? It doesn't in any way. It doesn't make any measure of sense. But that's, by the way, Luisa, your thoughts. Let us know. Would you pay 85 million for Fofana? I know he's a good player. Forget about the injury, bringing the injury into that argument, because it doesn't look like it's something I'm going to win. I also have joined the train of those who are fighting against me.
Personally, I feel like what led us down this road was what's their name? Barcelona. I wouldn't pay 85 million for Fofana at the beginning of the window, but where we are right now, I think I'll pay 85 million for him, because now we're kind of looking towards the future, because this is the same reason why we are getting Marc Cucurella for around 65, 60. And then you think about it, Cucurella 2 years ago was nowhere near. It wasn't going anywhere for half that price. But it's just the way it is. Inflation is crazy, but at the same time, football is always progressing. Things are always becoming more warped than it was 6 months ago, a year ago. I wouldn't have even considered Fofana for 85 million at the beginning of this window, but right now, if they said there's a bid for Fofana going for 85 million, I wouldn't even blink an eye. I would just say get him in. If they feel like he's the player they want and he's the player they can work with, get him in, and let Todd worry about the financing.
Big facts.
DJ, you let us know what you think.
Yeah, listen, big up to everyone. This is an interesting conversation about Fofana. Listen, I rate the kid very highly. I think I know the stat. I think it was I don't know who said he played 22 games last season despite his injury, and he did pretty well in that game. Is he worth the 85 million that Leicester require for him? For me, I do, much as I rate him and I think he's great, I wouldn't pay that amount of money for him. And I think the only reason why we're going down this avenue at the moment, if you look at our targets that we've gone for, and we've missed out on, I think a lot of these clubs now can see we're desperate to get a centre back in, and we're desperate to get a player in. And for me, if this is the price we need to pay for Fofana, I can understand. And Skriniar is an interesting one, because, again, I get your point on that as well, Cucurella. You're saying he'll be cheaper, but the difference between him and Fofana is he's actually had Premiership experience, whereas what's his name has not had the experience. And I can see why Fofana would be a better option. But again, I'm in the middle of this whole price tag thing. I would love to see Fofana at Chelsea, but not at the price tag that they're asking. But if we have to end up paying that kind of money for him, obviously it's not our money, it's Chelsea's money, it's Todd Bowley's money, whatever it might be. He's the one that's willing to put his hand in his pocket for this player. Then for me, it probably will be one of those where they'll say yes, they'll give in eventually to Leicester's demands of the 85 million. But I personally don't think he's worth that. But if you're looking at future, because I'm assuming we do get this kid on board, he's going to be a 6-year contract anyway. This is what we've done with most of our players that we've signed so far. So I can only assume this going down the same avenue again. So yeah, I guess in this kind of way, not going against you, Cucurella, at all here. I get both arguments here. I wouldn't pay that kind of money for him, but I've got a feeling we're going to have to. And if it means he's the only best thing out there, then yeah, we'll have to get him. Yeah? Sorry, bro?
It's our money. Is indirectly or whatever. How do Chelsea make money? It's because of people like us that buy merchandise.
That as well.
The TV deals is because the fans are watching. So I like your argument, but I always tell people, don't say it's not our money.
No, I don't mean in that way, Rodrigo. I get what you're saying, Rodrigo. I get that.
It's no longer your money.
Sorry.
We pay difficult.
The moment the money is transferred over, it's no longer your money. It's the money that you put into the club. It's not your money.
Ty will always bring in technicalities. Go ahead, DJ. No, but you're correct, Ty. You're correct. Technically, you're correct.
The moment
DJ.
No, but it's right. Go on. Whoever that was.
No, let's let DJ land. Go ahead, DJ.
Okay.
No, it's true. No, listen. I won't. As I said, it's true. What Rodrigo just said is true as well, and I get that as well. It is our money because obviously we pay for the merchandise and all that. I get that as well. But in terms of the actual price for this particular player, I am in a bit of two minds with him. But in the end, if we need to pay that because he's the next best thing out there, then we need to pay that money to get him in.
Wow. Okay. I'm not going to argue against that. I'm losing. I've already lost this battle. I'm honestly not sure how to argue against that. Whatever you guys have said, because I'm alone in this one. But I get the argument. Yeah, go ahead. Say what you're saying.
Yeah. Right, DJ. Yeah, you say about Fofana. Yeah, what I told you about. Yeah, not paying 85 million. Right.
Yeah.
You say about Skriniar ain't got the experience, but Fofana has experience in the Premier League. I agree to that, mate, because Skriniar's had Champions League, yeah. He's had the top stats, yeah, of the best centre back for Inter Milan. He's been class at centre back, yeah. Right. Fofana hasn't had experience. He's had experience only in the Premier League, but the Champions League he still has, right?
Yeah, that's true as well.
Skriniar is 30, coming up 30 years of age. He's had more experience than Fofana.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, the price that was less for Fofana for 65 mil, coach thinks he's going to pay 6. Like before, when I told these, Azpi won't be leaving Chelsea this season, right? Azpilicueta, right? And he's decided a 2-year deal, and I was right about that. Well, no, coach, right about that. He had a 2-year deal, right? Yeah. You got to understand this. With Fofana, with his injuries, yes, we know about it, but Fofana will be, if we did pay the 85, this football petition is always about greed money. We paid money. We paid a lot of money on Morata, and he didn't do nothing for us.
Yeah, mate, don't remind me of that one. God,
yeah. Remember that when we paid a lot of money? We paid like 75
over the odds, 100%.
Over the odds. Over the odds.
Yeah, we paid money.
Yeah.
We paid money for Premier League proven.
We paid.
Let's throw Lukaku in that one as well. Let's throw Lukaku in there as well.
Can I just finish my statement off quickly?
Yeah, go, bro. Sorry. Yeah, go on.
So we paid money on players who hasn't addicted to our club. Yeah. We pay stupid. When we had Romeo Fabio, we paid stupid a lot of money on players who didn't adapt to our players. Right.
Yeah.
So with Fofana paying 85 million, no one's saying it. Fofana, if he wants Chelsea, he said in his statement he wants Chelsea.
Yeah, I know.
The boy wants Chelsea because he wants to play for a bigger club like us.
Yeah.
Right? That he wants to adapt. So people saying 85 million, yes, I agree to you, coach, what you say. It ain't worth 85 million. Chelsea has a lot these days, right? I've spent money on players, ridiculous price on money on players. We like Morata, Lukaku, like it hasn't been good for us. Yeah, it hasn't been good for the season. But this boy is 23 years of age, and he's got the world class in him. He wants to
How
prove
old
himself.
was Morata when we signed him?
He was like 20, 24, like in
The
his
same
20s.
age bracket, if you can argue. The
It
question
was,
is
he's
this:
27 years of age. It was 27 when we bought him, right? He was
who?
scoring goals.
Morata?
Yeah, Morata. Yeah.
No. Morata wasn't 27 when we signed him.
No.
Morata is,
He's 27 now. He's 27 now. But he was like 20.
so he should be around 22 when we signed him or so.
Yeah, 22. But
So the
Morata,
same
yeah,
age bracket. So you're actually
he's a
shooting the
striker.
same movie.
He's a striker
No,
coach.
you're actually shooting the same Morata movie right now. There's no difference.
Yeah, but
Morata was good before we signed him.
Yeah, but he was good. But when he came to us, he was a flop, like Fernando Torres.
So why are you so sure? Why are you so sure that the case of Wesley Fofana will be different? There's no guarantee. It's a risk, no matter how you see it. You cannot convince me otherwise until it's happening. Then we get to know where. Well, he's good.
But Coach Fofana, yeah, he was Chelsea. He's put in his statement on Instagram. I would love to. If he came to us, yeah, he wants to prove that he's a good centre back for us, and it's going to make the marks for us. Like Morata, when he came
I got your argument. Lionel, you were saying something. What were you saying?
Coach, I want to say I think it's about the type of player. I think when you look at why I think Cucurella is going to be successful at Chelsea, it's because of the type of player he is, the type of hungry player that's always running, that's always aggressive, like Diego Costa was. We've had a number of really bad strikers, and the only one after Drogba that made any sense was Diego Costa. And because Diego Costa was the most annoying person on the field. And
he was a legend. I loved Diego Costa.
I think Fofana has the same type of attitude.
Yeah, let's talk one by one. Go ahead.
And I think Cucurella has the same. He has the same type of energy.
You're talking about Fofana.
Yeah, I'm talking about both of them. I think they have that type of energy, that type of hungry, always in your face, always
the spirit.
Ready to, that spirit that's needed, because we need that at Chelsea. We have very docile, very chilled players like Kai Havertz. You look at Christian Pulisic, who don't really want to get into the rugged side of football. They're very stylish footballers, very calm, very respectful. We need people that, like Diego Costa, like that spirit that those players had. And we haven't had that in a while. So that's why, for me, I would go for Fofana, because I believe that he has that type of spirit. He is that type of player to put in 110% every single time he puts on that Chelsea shirt. And we haven't had that for a long time.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
I get the argument. Again, let's see what happens. But again, I must let you know, bro, I love you. But that argument also is no different from a player firing on all cylinders on another club and then comes to Chelsea and then fluffs it. But that's, by the way, DJ, let me start you on this one on the screen before I go to the panic bus driver. He probably make the most out of it. Look at this one here, which says by Brendan Rodgers. I've argued before, but he continues to say that. But this is from Fabrizio Romano. He continues to say that the player isn't for sale, blah, blah, blah. Again, he said that when we went in of a benchwell. In this case, he said Brendan Rodgers, Wesley Fofana, and James Maddison are not for sale. These are very important players. To us, we are in a situation where we needed to move some players out. But that doesn't mean getting rid of any of our best players. And then who else do you have in the team that you can get rid of that will fetch him enough money to buy a new player? I don't see anyone else.
The oxymoron, Stephanie. That doesn't make sense what you just said.
So Intro maybe, but so Intro there's so much interest in him. Or educate me if I'm missing out on something. But DJ, your thoughts?
Yeah, listen, I get what Brendan Rodgers is doing. He's doing what most managers would do and put that out there, because obviously, as far as he's concerned, these two players are very vital to his squad and he doesn't want to see any of them go. But I think we've seen this season with the way the transfer window has gone with players. It's a World Cup year and a lot of these players now are probably thinking about November. And for me, I think if Chelsea were to go in at 85 million, he can. What the arguments Brendan Rodgers has to say, he's not for sale. He's putting it out to obviously protect these players. I do believe Leicester, because I think it was a tweet that went around yesterday. I'm not sure who it was. It was by a tier one who actually said that Leicester is saying he's not for sale. However, if they get an offer for 85 million and over, there's definitely 100% they'll have to think about that, and it's more than likely they'll accept the offer as well. So in that way, I get what Brendan is. He'll do with what most managers would do. They'll say these assets of theirs are not for sale. We hear it all the time. But these players, like unfortunately, clubs like Leicester, as much as whatever success they've had in a short period of time, unfortunately, they're still not amongst the elite clubs. If you look at the top, if you look at the other clubs, and put Manchester United in that as well, because they're one of the biggest clubs around. Chelsea, obviously, us as well, there as well. You know, he will go to one of those clubs. So for me, even though Brendan Rodgers is saying that, I reckon if we offer the right money for Fofana, he'll come to Chelsea, 100%.
Yeah, I think he'll come. This thing is normal. It's normal. They're not going to say, yeah, we want to sell him, bring the money. It's never going to happen. That hardly happens. Even Man City, we knew they wanted to sell Raheem Sterling. We knew that Raheem Sterling doesn't have much left on his contract and could live on a free. They never at any time said they want to sell him. No, they're acting like if you don't want to pay up, we'll just keep him. It's as simple as that. Rodrigo, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was reading that comment again. We're in a situation where we need to move some players up. That doesn't mean getting rid of anyone.
That contradicts its initial.
Yeah.
I knew you'd make the most out of this, but go ahead.
Oh man, I'm actually watching him on Sky Sports now in the background. Yeah, he doesn't. Listen, Leicester are in real trouble. They're the only club so far that has made a single signing, and like he's explained there, they need to move players on. If Chelsea meet or come close to the valuation of their players, these players will go. What Brendan Rodgers said, apart from the contradiction there, it is normal. I don't think a manager, especially in a time where he knows, like people at Leicester know, like Fofana and Maddison are in demand, he can't come out and say, yes, we want to get rid of these players, blah blah blah. No, of course, because then it gives the other team maybe some sort of power leverage in the negotiation. I don't know. It could somehow impact how much they're willing to accept, because they in their mind they're in the strong position, right? Because Chelsea are desperate for centre back, and Newcastle are desperate for midfielder. So in their mind, they can ask for every fee, and if those fees are not met, they're not gonna release these players. So yeah, his comments are normal, but for them to get the money they need to reinforce the team, since they need to sell, they have to sell the best asset. Simple as that. Or otherwise, they'll be in trouble. I can see Leicester really struggling. So then they have to do it. So Brendan Rodgers, swallow your pride, or if your club haven't done yet, just swallow your pride. Sell us Fofana for 60 million. All is good. You can, or we can even throw in Malang Sarr in the deal for free. That's how good we are.
Yeah, that's how good we are.
We can even give him Ruben.
I don't think Ruben is going anywhere. I've seen some people think. Yeah, go ahead.
We have a host of players we can give them. We that charitable. But also they call us Charity FC.
Bucky as well, Rodrigo. Bucky as well, mate.
We have a bunch of players that will improve that team.
Yeah, let's get the voice of Louisa on that one. Louisa, let us know what you think. What do you think about this comment? I think this is not the first time; it's like the fifth time. Every time he's on TV or somewhere, we're seeing it, or what him saying they don't want to sell the player.
Yeah, funny enough, I just even watched Brendan Rodgers on Sky Sports when he was talking about Leicester City, and I'm like, I think that was Bobby, because the voice sounds like Bobby, but I don't know who spoke just now, but the person was right. Brendan cannot just come out and say, oh no, we're in desperate need to sell him. That's just going to lower the valuation of the player, because now you are giving all the business power and the negotiation power to to whichever team is coming on. You want them to be like, oh, this is my prized possession. You are prying this one out of my hands. So you need to come in with a solid offer before I can grudgingly accept it. I'm not happy about this move, but you brought the money, so I'll just let it go. That's the whole like media training and everything that's going on. I feel like going into the season, there are certain players that the board would have discussed with the coach. See, you see this player, if the money comes in, you are going to lose this player. So you might need to make some arrangement. They know what's going on. They know that maybe if this amount comes in, they are losing. They even know how the player feels. They know what's on the player's mind. If the player is going to go for a certain amount, if their needs are met. So if Chelsea are able to meet the evaluation of the player, is going to go. But I'm seeing this comment where they're like, Fofana isn't 80 million better than Chalobah. That's the only issue we're going to have now. The issue now is, where does Thomas rate these players? And Fofana is not just like buying a player for the right now. Fofana is also buying a player for the future. We might end up getting Fofana, and because we have players like Trevor, Koulibaly, Thiago, we might have the luxury of easing him into the team, just like Man City did with Grealish, which we've not really had. We've not had the luxury of letting our big signings, because someone also said that our big signings have always become failures at the end of the day. We've not had the advantage of easing our big signings into the teams. We are usually buying a big signing and getting them into the first 11 because we're in desperate need by the time we are getting those signings. When City got Grealish, they were not in desperate need of Grealish. They had the time, the space, and the chance to ease him into the team, integrate him into the team, allow him understand what the team football is about, the philosophy and everything. That's what we need now. We need these young signings. We need them to also have the time that they would possibly need to get into the team. We can't just buy a player and expect them to start firing from the very first game. Things don't work that way. It's a team game. It's not an individual sport. Yes, we know that we're buying
maybe Chelsea fans are now born again. That when you sign a player, we don't expect them to start firing on all cylinders. But go ahead, Louisa.
We understand it's a team game. It's not an individual sport. We know that these are great individuals, but are they great individuals in the team? That is what we need time to figure out. Even the coach needs time to understand the players, understand what they can offer to the team. What Fofana did for Leicester is not what Fofana is going to do for Chelsea. It's two different teams, two different setups, two different set of players. At Chelsea is going to have the advantage of playing with players like Koulibaly and Thiago that would be able to cover up some of his deficiencies that might be exposed at Leicester. So the price tag, if we have the money, fine and good. If it's not going to hinder like maybe other deals, if it's a cost opportunity case, I say get Fofana now. It's worth it for long-term run if he's able to integrate into the team and all. Every deal that is made, there's always a caveat of what if it doesn't work out, but what if it also works out? You never know till you try it. Might as well try it.
That is just the thing. There's no guarantee any player that's coming in, even if you buy the player for $10 or £10, will do well. But you just raised a question. Again, you raised a question. A question came to mind when you talked about Chalobah. If we're paying anything north of 70 million to 85 million for Fofana, where does that leave what's his name, Trevor Chalobah? But that's, by the way, Ty, you said you were saying something. And again, here's the chance to complete whatever you were saying, brother. Apologies if you were caught up when you were still making the point.
It's life. I mean, Wesley Fofana, the point I was trying to make is that, even with the price tag, and even though I think he's a good player, it's gonna always be a problem in terms of the price tag. And the fact that there's this narrative right now that all these big money signings, what some people you call it, they never work out. we will use Lukaku, they use likes of, well, in some cases, Kai Havertz, Kepa Arrizabalaga has worked out. So in that sense, people look at it and say, "Oh, we're gonna do it once again." We never learn. For me, I think that I don't think we will end up, if we do get the player, spending 85 million. I think that we can find a compromise. And like I was saying a couple of days ago, the fact that Fofana has quite publicly highlighted that he wants to leave. He definitely wants to leave. He's done that. It gives Chelsea an advantage, because even though I don't know how much people believe this, but the fact that he has done this, it means that gives us some negotiating power to say that, okay, you have a player on your hand who has made it pretty clear that he'll be quite open to joining us. We're ready to offer him such and such. So why not? Let's go from 60 million to 65. You reject that, you say, okay, we'll give you 70. And see what happens. Then if it doesn't happen, then you just walk away and you move on, because we cannot be wasting time. This is the thing that we've always been doing this summer. We don't have a director of football, and IZ has said this in the past. But in this case, if you can't negotiate with them, if they want to stick with it, then you walk away. And I think he's the same one who said this as well. There are millions of players on the earth who can play and could even offer more than he does, even at his age. So I think it's because of the situation, and I keep saying this, the reason why he's going to be this expensive as well is that he signed a contract recently, and it also the situation is that we're buying him out of a club. But when you're buying somebody who's on a contract that is on a term that is 3 years or more, it's going to make it difficult for you to get them. So you're going to have to spend big. And right now, with the fact that Leicester City and other clubs that we may negotiate with know that we're desperate, they will push up the price and see how we react. Now, if Todd Bowley thinks that this player is worth the investment, and he does indeed go up to 85 million, I mean, what can we do? We just have to see and hope and pray that it works out, because I'm pretty sure no one here has any power to restrict that move from happening. So I think if it happens, it just happens. But I think from a fan's perspective, I don't think a lot of people would say that, okay, we're just going to splash 85 million on this player. And, the narrative will be that, why didn't you not do this for other players that we wanted or we supposedly wanted, if we're willing to do it with this player now?
Yeah, again, that's a good input there, and I'm learning from.
Coach,
let me catch up with the chat line, and then I was going to come to you. So just one minute, brother. And then again, Chelsea fan said he does that at Liverpool too. It's his modus operandi to always come to say something publicly about the player that other clubs want to buy. It kind of says, I will translate Fofana and Maddison are not for sale. However, we do need to sell some of our players. So if anyone wants them, pay up. And let me complete that for you. I think that makes perfect sense. That's how I see it too. Like Rodrigo pointed out, there's two parts to what we're looking at on the screen. The second part contradicts the first part because, when you're saying, so you need to move on some player, who are you going to move on and get how much from them to be able to do something? So it just doesn't make sense there. It says, too expensive for the bench means one of the actual CBs will be a rotation player and play only 10 games. Is it worth it? I don't know. You answered the question yourself. Chelsea should focus on number 9. We'll talk about that in a bit once I get the response from Lionel Joel. Chalobah is error prone. That comes with that age. If you look at Fofana too, there are a few rash tackles you'd see. Makes you come to your senses that he's actually still young. It's not just Chalobah. Even Kunde himself, when we wanted him, people think he's perfect, but some people will point out the mistakes he's made too. Let's see. It's Kami says, I don't doubt Fofana's ability, neither do I. But for 18 million, I'd expect a better player to come in because I don't think his 80 million again, better than what we have, but for 50 to 60, bring him. Again, I get the argument that I'm going to scroll to the bottom and try to get to your subsequent comment. Lawler says Alba is also not for sale. Depay and FDJ are the only ones that are for sale. We don't want Depay, and I don't say. Let me not say we. For me, I'd say no to Depay. He's better off a rapper than he is a footballer, and maybe that's why he hasn't actually, reached his potentials, because he's torn between becoming a rapper and musician and a footballer. Really, no, you're not spamming, bro. Go ahead, you're contributing. Now, come in, Lionel, so I can ask the next question I want to ask.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think it's Louisa, right?
Yeah, Louisa. Yeah.
She made a very good point about integration into the team. I think which is something that we've never had with these expensive signings. So I think she's absolutely spot on that if Fofana comes in and, it's not going 100% well for him immediately when he comes in, he has the cover of Chalobah, he has Koulibaly, he has, what's his name, Thiago Silva, who can cover the mistakes that he makes. So I think she's 100% right in that assessment. Again, 85 million, yes, it's a lot of money, but if that's what we need to pay to get him, I say, why not? Go out and do it.
I think that argument makes sense. And the truth is, given that he's actually on the right-hand side, he's not going to play centrally. Again, errors he makes, if he makes mistakes, I think Thiago Silva and also Koulibaly, those players can actually help cover him quite well. And I think with those guys playing alongside those guys, the mistakes wouldn't be that much. But again, I'm still concerned at the price tag. Here's what I want to ask us here, and I'll start with you, Lionel, since I'm with you. Thomas Tuchel's comment on fluidity. If people aren't paying attention, maybe it's about time you start paying attention that Thomas Tuchel doesn't really like traditional number 9s. Although he wasn't specifically speaking about Chelsea, but there's a way he talked about Man City, how it has worked for Man City, how it has worked for Liverpool. What does that tell you of his plans this coming season? Again, I've always argued, I wish he was here. I'd ask him, you're asking for us to bring in a number 9, and I'm sure IBC, whenever he says that, he means a traditional number 9, which I've argued, don't try that under Thomas Tuchel, and I've mentioned some examples. But if people aren't paying attention, maybe it's about time they'll learn about this man, how he likes to play. Your thoughts on that, his comments regarding fluidity?
Yeah, I think a lot of Chelsea fans, including myself, want a traditional number 9 because of the lack of goals, the lack of finishing opportunities. And we kind of believe that if we have a traditional number 9, who we thought we were getting from Lukaku, then we will be able to finish those chances that we have. I'm starting to change my mind about that, again, because of the Lukaku situation, but because the people that we have up front, the players that we have up front, aren't doing the jobs that they need to be doing. They're not finishing off chances. For example, Pulisic doesn't run at players and try and beat them as he used to. The Pulisic that we had during the pandemic era has completely disappeared. And you can say that about a lot of, our other attacking players. The only one that's probably been consistent is Mason Mount. So I get that, but at the same time, I understand, Thomas Tuchel's idea on fluidity, because it is important to him. If you look at his defensive targets like Koundé, you look at what, Koundé can play in different positions. Cucurella also can do the same. So it's always good to have that, especially if you have players that could be injured and go out for a really long time. So I agree with Tuchel. I'm starting to change that kind of mentality of we need a number 9, because that hasn't worked out for us. We've tried it again. It hasn't worked out for us. And maybe the answer is having that fluidity and having players that just finish off the chances that we create. And it doesn't matter whether they play on the left, right, or in the center, they're able to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah, again, maybe I have to repeat myself. I know you've learned that yourself. If you follow the Thomas Tuchel's coaching career from Mainz to Borussia Dortmund to PSG, again, it's worth repeating because some Chelsea fans, it doesn't look like they're paying attention. Some of my Nigerian brothers, whenever they come here, they'll be suggesting the Simham, and I have said no. Tuchel will frustrate the life out of him. Tuchel had Edson Cavani, he had Mauro Icardi at PSG. Yeah. But because he prefers fluidity, and those guys won't give you that, even though Cavani, to an acceptable measure, is able to participate in link-up plays, he still didn't use him that much. Probably because he had already had that tag on him as a number 9, and he sees him as a traditional number 9. That's who Thomas Tuchel is. But it just seems that most of us ain't paying attention. Plus, also, if you get a defined number 9 into the team, either subconsciously or by design, the focus will always be to get the ball to that number 9. And then in the final third, we will have a point of reference in terms of us getting goals, which will be channeled through a single individual. And once that person is out of the team, that's it, we're done. So that's why I'm all for us building a team where we have midfielders who can score, defenders who can score, wide men who can score. Then we can do better.
Our forwards are not doing that. This is why we paid 100 mil for Lukaku, because the forwards that we have at the club currently cannot do that. None of them. Not
But it was a huge mistake, as we learned.
Yeah, it was a huge mistake, but the reason is because we need people to finish off the chances that we create. I think, again, we were in the top half of teams that created the most last season, but we just couldn't finish off those chances. So it's important I think the search and the idea behind Lukaku was that we needed someone to finish off all these chances that we created, and unfortunately that didn't work out.
And we're learning, actually, we're learning, if the rumors are or what we're hearing out there to be believed, it wasn't Tuchel's idea. But that's, by the way, Ty, let me get your thoughts on that one quickly.
Stewart and Patrick Bamford, bring them both in just for the season, man. Ross Stewart from Sunderland, he's class, man. Are worth having in our team. Ross Stewart from Sunderland, striker, tall. What? Ross Stewart? What? Don't you think he's good?
Oh.
Well, what about Patrick Bamford then?
Let me get Ty's contribution to the topic we're talking about. Ty, your thoughts on Tuchel's comment regarding fluidity?
Yeah, well, this I get where you're going with the fact that he made mention to Man City and Liverpool, and the thing is,
and how that has worked for them.
Yeah, ironically though, they've signed 2 players who are traditional number 9s or probably of that profile. So probably it's in the past. Now the thing is, unless obviously Liverpool try to utilize Darwin Núñez like the way they use Firmino. For me, I think in a sense this is why I think if he does go for a striker, because a striker is not only a person who is just a traditional number 9. You have a lot of strikers who can also play wide. So
let's use the general term, forwards.
Well, you consider the wingers wide forward, so it depends. I'll just say center forward then.
Okay, go ahead.
So in that sense, not unless. The reason why I think he loved the false 9 system so much is because not only does it add fluidity, but it also limits predictability, because that means that when you play against a team, the team doesn't know who to really mark, because anybody can go central, anybody can get into the central area or get into a position that can lead to them scoring a goal. And that is why, even with the exclusion of Lukaku, especially when he got injured after the Malmo game, despite Havertz not scoring a goal against Norwich City, and I know it's Norwich City, so people say that's normal, but the fluidity, the fact that we were able to get past them, and the way that we were able to do what was necessary in terms of getting those chances into the back of the net, creating chances, moving the ball, with great fluidity, where there's no slow building. And even people say Lukaku didn't work. Oh, the situation. This is why I said that this is poor scouting and this is poor type in terms of what in designing. The system that Conte used it was not he adapted to Lukaku. Lukaku had to adapt to the system, and the situation is that he had Lautaro Martinez, who is more of a deep lying forward, he'll drop deep, win the ball, and then Lukaku would be about trying to find those spaces, and try to get into the positions when necessary. And initially, that's what we saw because we were using a false nine, and I know it was one game, but against Arsenal and even against Aston Villa, we were utilizing that. We were playing with Mason Mount, and although Mason Mount is a false nine, anybody can be the false nine because the false nine position it requires you to be central, but you can also drift wide. So I think maybe in that sense, we did it correctly against Arsenal when he first played, where he had that one player deep, and then you see Lukaku find the space, and that's what happened. He made the pass, the ball goes over to Reece James, and Lukaku's run into the box, taps it in. That is the way that you utilize it, but we can't do that because not all teams is that gullible. It's not easy to do that. So that is why I think that he likes the false nine system that much because it limits their predictability. And when you have a traditional number nine, it means that the person will say, okay, the team will look at it. And I like you were saying, social perspective. The thing is, when you bring in a number nine like that, it allows these players to just have it. It's not like they do it. It's just instinct. It's something that they believe needs to happen. So they create for that number nine. So defenders will say, okay, they're gonna be trying to find him to try to let him score goals. So if we mark him, their focal point is limited, and they have to go wide, and that makes it easier for us to monitor them and control it. So that is why when you play a false nine system, it's easier because anybody can go central, and you don't know who is marking, and that is why he's looking at these players who are clinical because we have players who can play false nine. Anybody can play false nine, but they're not clinical enough. They don't score enough goals. And that is why sometimes Pulisic, especially against Wolves, he was playing as a false nine, but he's not really the most clinical or consistent recently. So obviously that limits his level of goal scoring. So that is why I think he's looking at these targets. So it doesn't mean that you can't buy a striker. You can bring in a striker, but it cannot be someone who's like a target man or somebody who's considered a target man. A player like Werner, who's a supporting striker and assistant striker, it's a sale that makes sense. And Nkunku makes sense because he can play wide and he can play as an attacking midfielder. So that in itself limits your predictability. But like a number nine, like your Cavani's, your Lukaku's, your Darwin Núñez, your Haaland, people like that, it becomes difficult because although they can create for each other, it becomes an issue because the team will be focusing on that one target man who's going to be the focal point most of the time. So that is why I think he loves it, and that is why, like the examples you use, Aubameyang worked so well with him. Cavani was utilized and sometimes did create for his teammates, but Mbappe, Neymar, and I think they brought in I don't remember his name from Inter Milan, who was used as well. So I think in that sense, maybe that is why Coco loves it.
I thought it was a Mobley, wasn't it? We were trying to sign that year. A Mobley. That's what I think. Yeah. If we need a full start, I think we should try to sign a Mobley because he could score goals. If we need to send,
I think he's a good player. Rodrigo, let us know your thoughts before I go to a Chelsea fan to speak his mind on Thomas Tuchel comments regarding fluidity.
Yeah, I love the comment, and this is what when I hear Chelsea fans always say.
And that's a serious giveaway, actually.
Yeah, they always say
that's him saying I don't like traditional number nines indirectly.
It's like, all we need is goals. We need a goal scorer. No, we don't just need a goal scorer because you have to look at how we create chances. So if you have just a guy sitting in a box waiting for the ball to get to him, it's not gonna work at Chelsea. So we don't just need a goal scorer. We need a certain profile of player. And for me, I feel like the players that we need are like inside forward or just normal forward players. Like players I have in mind, like obviously someone like Salah, someone like Mane, people like that. People are flexible. They're not comfortable. They're not static. They just must stand in one position and hope for the ball to get to them. especially when we play with only 3 attacking players, where your movement is also part of. You need to be moving around, otherwise you. When we're playing with Lukaku with 3 attacking players, it felt almost like we're playing with only 2 attacking players because he was just static. So that's what this, at least this will put to bed the idea like, oh, we need this target man or we need this number 9. It's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. We need a player like a Depay. I know you don't wanna, I know you don't respect rappers.
No, I love music. Rap music is actually my favorite genre, so to speak. But the pie should concentrate on playing football or just switch to music. It's as simple as that.
I feel like the pie will suit us.
That is, if he decides to forget about music.
This one, I'm about to Pierre with Cucurella.
Go ahead, let Rodrigo finish. Go ahead, Rodrigo, finish your thoughts.
The only thing we have is with our current attackers is, I don't know, how can you coach someone to finish the chances? Is it because they spend so much time pressing, trying to win the ball back, so that when they're in those positions to finish where you need cold-headed, they just don't have it? I don't know. Maybe it's that they need, because I don't know how you coach someone to finish, because they do drills in training, but when it comes to match,
just for the muscle memory's sake and practice,
yeah. But when it comes to match day training, I think it's probably because they do a lot of they do like counter pressing in offensive play. So maybe when they receive the ball, their mind is tired. I don't know. Maybe that's just an excuse. Maybe they're just not good enough. They're just literally not good enough. They don't have it in them to be ice cold in front of goal. That's literally the last thing. That's what we need from them. Can you just convert even a third of the chances that you get, please, and then we'll be fine. We wouldn't have this conversation if people like Havertz, Werner, they scored 15, 10, even we're asking 12 to 15 league goals. That's what we want from those 3 players. And also, I think this also goes to Tuchel. That maybe he also needs to stop rotating too much. Maybe he needs to stick to a front 3, let them build that chemistry. And then, but then again, I can see his point. Like, yes, he stuck with them for a few games. They're not delivering, so he has to tweak. He has to change the team around. It's a hard question. I don't know how you solve this.
Again, the takeaway from me for that comment is that again, he doesn't like traditional number 9s.
Yeah,
I knew that before.
Number 9.
Yeah, I knew that before time, and it's a German thing. Most German coaches don't.
Yeah, like what I said, he doesn't, because when you have a traditional number 9 defense, especially the reason, especially when we play with only 3 attacking. Obviously, the wing backs are also see them as, but when you have 3 recognized attacking players and 2 6s, if you have those attacking players that don't need to change their position, you're very easy to mark.
It's as simple as that.
You're stuck for defenders.
Yeah. It's as simple as that. It kind of says if we can throw 85 million on Fofana, we can spend our money on Harry Kane. Just need to convince him to join. Show him to the trophy cabinet. Maybe I like that comment right there. Again, it says Immobile 95% of the games, useless, but then 5 he scores. Again, scoring is the name of the game. Lukaku was a goal scorer, and it didn't work. You need people that can move around, be dynamic in the final third, participate in the play, and not bite the ball and chew it whenever the ball comes in the air. They're not going to be, in the case of Lukaku, it takes them sometimes 5 tries to get the ball under control. That's not what you want. But that doesn't define him generally as a player. He's a good player in certain teams, but for Chelsea, no. It's as simple as no. So when we don't sign anyone, rivals say we're broke and get rejected. But when we do sign a player, we're overpaying and spending too much. This window is really getting interesting now. We moved, and we're still going to get in some players. And again, like I've always argued before, I have never panicked. My argument has always been, if we don't get the young, then Todd Bowley has to explain why he traveled from the United States on his private jet to go eat in a restaurant with Juan Laporta, and he probably paid for the meal, but I still think would get him. But that's why the way Chelsea need a natural CB and a goal scoring attacker before we end of the transfer window. Again, you could argue that please sell all these players and give a chance to academy players like Gallagher, Broja, Gilmore, Harveyville. Broja is there. Gilmore is going. Gallagher is already there, so I'm not sure what the argument. The pay dropping this track on Arsenal and Spurs is what the money is. Yeah, I think maybe we should get him and have him drop a diss track. That will make perfect sense. It will be worth the money. Adelio Emmanuel says Thiago Silva can be injured at any time. Chelsea need a standby CB. We have Koulibaly there who can lead the back line confidently. But maybe our pattern of play would change because he plays differently from Thiago Silva, but he can pick a pass even from that deep. That's how good he is. 88 bus stop says Pep has won 4 league titles in 5 years without depending on a typical striker. Aguero wasn't. Yep. Some people will argue otherwise, but I don't think he was. He can participate, get involved in the play more often than not. Sometimes you see him on the flanks, always fit during Pep's tenure at the club. He focused on clear-cut chances, creating clear-cut chances and all that. Again, a no-end product, but pass the eye test in training. A guide example is is Callum. I get that argument. Says I don't believe in 85 million for Fofana. I don't either. The advantage of getting Kane is that he is England's number 9. If he dives, you're getting the pen. That's politics right there. Yeah, I get it. Economics says a bit of both. The positives of the positions they receive the ball in are not ideal. Hardly ever in behind, nor played in the half spaces. Yep, good argument that right there. Apart from cover, no one looks to progress into the pockets. That is just a delicious comment right there. And Ty has also shared the link to his channel. I did the same for Lionel Joel. I did the same for Ty, but maybe he didn't see it. So go check out his YouTube channel. Please be sure to subscribe. I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot of the panelists here on those channels too whenever they're streaming. Rodrigo, Lionel Joel also will be streaming soon. I'm hoping he does, so we can all go there and cause a fight. Liam Lane says Pep has changed his mind on the striker position by bringing in Haaland. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Even if you see how they played the Community Shield Cup, bringing in Haaland hasn't changed anything.
And it looked like it made things worse. It looked like it made
exactly
things worse, to be honest.
So they're still gonna play the way they play. About Man City in the box, it's always looking for the best positioned player. It hasn't changed. It's not like they're gonna get the ball and just put it forward because they have Haaland. No, Pep will never change.
His formation, he picks the formation in every single 3 seasons. They're bringing Haaland because he's a proven striker, and that's what they needed to have someone who could score maximum 30 to 40 goals this season. And that's why Haaland's joined Man City. And this the time will tell because he needs to adapt to the Premier League, and this year was his first, I think. But Man City,
honestly, you could argue that they've made the mistake we made in Lukaku, but it's too early.
We did make a mistake by Lukaku.
It's too early. And here's why Lukaku's is a mistake. We were creating chances, and the chances we were missing were like all the front men were missing the chances. It was like a single individual's fault. And somebody looked at it and was like, wow, we need to get a single individual to start putting away the chances being missed by multiple. It just doesn't make sense.
Coach. Well, it is with Lukaku. He didn't get a chance to get the balls in the net, and he when he did that press conference when he said to Thomas Tuchel he didn't like the way his formation played. That's why he weren't scoring enough goals. But if you're a striker, you should be like he had loads of many chances. his last season at Chelsea. He should have finished them, but it just didn't work out for him. But my point of view, like people saying about getting a false nine, there is more opportunities out there to get a false nine. But with the way the Chelsea system is, the strikers never seem to score. It's always the false nines, always the wingers. You notice it's always the wingers score more than the striker for Chelsea. If we could get a person who actually, now we've got Sterling, and if we could get a striker to bring into Chelsea this season, he will score goals. Like with Kai Havertz, yeah, people got to understand. Thomas Tuchel with Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz ain't a striker. He ain't a number 9. He never played striker for his old club at Bayer Leverkusen. He was like in a central mid cam. He was in a cam role, and now we've put Thomas Tuchel has put Havertz in that role because he's struggling. He's struggling to put players where needed. And if we can't get the striker we need for Chelsea, it's good for Havertz there. And Havertz ain't a striker. Amount of chances he plays up front, yeah, he sometimes scores, but he missed good opportunities. Like Luigi, he said about the false nines on the wings, yeah. Half of the percentage of the time, if you noticed last season, our wingers did score. And if we could get someone in the false nine role, it actually could like do good. Because Callum Hudson-Odoi, he don't score goals. He don't score goals enough. Whereas Hacky with CH, he will score goals, but he still never scores. He always crosses the bin. As a player that will cross in. If we could get a striker, we could start crossing the ball into a striker who can finish. Yes, we'll be ahead of the way. We'll be good. We'll be good.
Yeah, but thank you very much. Yeah,
we ain't got that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let me get to Luis's thoughts, and then we'll call it a day. Maybe if anybody else on the panel, I don't know, have you spoken about that, Rodrigo? And then if any, maybe everybody will get their final thoughts in. We can call it a day because later in the day we're going to do another show where we'll predict the lineup for tomorrow's game. I know we have a pre-game show. So, Luisa, you go ahead. Let me know what you think about Thomas Tuchel's comments regarding fluidity. I know he didn't talk about Chelsea. He talked about Man City and then Liverpool. And while you are there, please hold the thought for me. I would rejoin you guys quickly. Once you're done, you can bring in Lionel Joel to talk about his channel and also his final thoughts. Take it one by one, but I'll come back in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I actually think that because Thomas has said what is used to, this is not the first time we're hearing about it. Even before Chelsea, it's already not like being used to using a number 9 like a traditional 9. It prefers everyone being fluid, everyone being involved in attack, as well as everyone being involved in defense, which is why it is always been lauded as a pretty good defensive coach. And why it's not working out on the attack for us is that I feel like most of our players still need to fine-tune stuff, because we're getting in these chances. It's looking like it's mostly because the players are not good at finishing. It's not the chances are not coming. It's the players are not finishing well. Like we've complained about Havertz, we've complained about Werner. Even Werner, it gets in good positions. He's able to make good runs. We know that. It's just that it feels like they get in their head when it's time to finish, or maybe they get intimidated by the opposition's defenders. It just feels like something is not clicking right in the system that Thomas likes to play, which is everyone attacks, everyone defends. And you kind of get that sense when you see the positions our defenders were getting into last season. They were getting into good goal scoring positions.
Yeah.
Even Rudiger missed quite. He scored some goals. He missed some that if he had been clinical about it, he could have easily gotten at least 5 to 6 league goals by the end of the season, which is not like a huge thing for a defender. But we attack as a team, we defend as a team. So you kind of feel like what's missing in the team now is not a point man. What's missing in the team is Now you need players in all these positions that can finish off the chances that we get at every point, because we're not looking at a specific person to say, okay, we're going to pass you the ball, you play the ball into the net.
Exactly.
Everyone has to be good at finishing. Even Mason Mount, why Mason Mount was getting some bit of criticism last season was because he was getting in those goal scoring chances too, but he was one of the best finishers we had, even though he still missed quite a bit of chances, which could have easily put us in a better position at by the end of last season. So it's kind of, when you think about it, you don't need a tradition. We don't need a traditional 9 in Thomas' system, but we do need these guys to get better at finishing, or at least care to finish off the chances better.
And also,
Better.
Louisa, to add to your point, we also need, sometimes when you look in a box, we don't have enough players, so we need one of the sixes to be comfortable joining in the attack to make up the numbers. Because you need overload in your position box. So if there is any deflection, any balls that drop to anyone, you have people that can pounce. That's why City score a lot of the goals, cut back, because they have a lot of people in the opposition box. They can take opportunities like that. So we need an overload in the box as well. I feel like we do sometimes with Alonso, but
we can score more than most goals last season, though. Where the left wing backs and the right wing backs scored more goals last season than the midfielders than actually the attackers.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We do need players who actually force attack to score more goals. Mason Mount, like she said, Mason Mount got criticism last year, but Mason Mount was one of our best players last season, and he's proven himself this season. We need someone who could actually link together, like actually play together, and the free line, the three at the back, at the front, could actually adapt together and learn to adapt to score goals. It's one of them situations. Like Thomas Tuchel, it's hard for him. Like I said before, it's hard for him because he can't. Timo Werner, they played him on the wing, like I was saying last season, even though he was a striker. And like I say, if we're going to get rid of Werner this season, we haven't got enough false 9 to adapt to push into that role to score goals for us.
Here's the thing about having a fluid front line. You don't have to be a specialist to be part of it.
Yeah.
You don't have to. First line, in my own definition, it's nobody. That particular number 9 position doesn't actually exist when you play it like that. Everybody can come in there. Somebody from the right can come and occupy the position. They rotate. That's why they call it. That's why you hear the term of fluidity. You're not sure who's going to be there anytime.
That's why I'm super confused why we didn't go for someone like Gabriel Jesus, because I feel like he's the type of player, the type of attributes that we need in our fluid forward. He gets into the spaces. He's able to play on the wing and come
maybe Tuchel's preferences is what's his name? It's Raheem Sterling. You don't know, but we'll find out.
But I'm talking about the attributes of our quote unquote point man, right? If we're listening to all the other panelists and talking about the type of attributes that we need from someone that's leading the line, someone that's able to come back and defend when he needs to, who is fluid within the.
Let him finish, Chelsea fan. Go ahead, Lionel.
Yeah, who's fluid within the spaces, who's able to be, because a lot of the time also, yes, when we don't play with a false 9, it is fluid, but we don't have someone with that's playing alongside the defenders or in between the two center backs to be able to put those tap ins or to finish those crosses that come in most of the time. So this is the type of player that I feel that we needed, and unfortunately we didn't get. But I think I agree with most of the panelists on what's needed in Thomas Tuchel's system, and I hope that for the future, I don't see Aubameyang filling that quite well necessarily, but if Tuchel thinks that he's able to get him to play in those positions and make sure that he's there to finish those chances that we create, then why not? Also, I'd like to say, Coach, I might be stealing some of your panelists because really smart people.
No, you don't have to tell me, bro. We're family. You should know that. You don't have to tell me. I know Rodrigo loves to talk Chelsea. I know IBZ loves to talk Chelsea. You should actually, you should follow each other right now. Let me get his Twitter. Let me get the Lionel's Twitter handle and share so you can follow each other. I know Chelsea fan. I know Louisa also. All these guys, they love to talk Chelsea, so it doesn't matter. Nobody's contracted to. Rodrigo has a contract with me until 2039. You can't get that.
Makes sense.
No release clause. No buyback.
I tried to get.
Yeah, buyer class is like $450 billion.
I tried to talk to him, but it wasn't working. Now I get it.
Is Bojo staying at Chelsea this season, or is he still getting out?
Yeah,
Bojo.
He's staying.
That is one.
No, Brojo's
Is he
staying.
going to be playing, yeah?
Yeah, he's going to be playing.
Thomas Tuchel get goals in then if he's staying at Chelsea, because
like seen Rodrigo, can you share the link to your Twitter account so that you and Lionel follow each other and everybody on the panel can follow each other. So when you need them on your panel, you just message them. Nobody's contracted to anybody. And IBC also was asking because he wants. I think he asked about you the last time you were here too. Yeah. So when are you gonna host a live stream, bro?
The thing is, I'm trying to figure out all the technical stuff. I mean, you and I had a conversation before about it. It's just
maybe we should schedule a meeting.
Yeah.
We should schedule a meeting and then look at it together.
Just to figure that out. But yeah, my channel, I'm currently doing a show called Random Football, where I talk about everything football, not just Chelsea. I try and stay away from talking just Chelsea, but I think my viewers are getting bored of just my voice, so it would be nice to have some of you guys on when I can.
Your videos are harsh because you don't have a good voice, mate.
Sorry, he has a brilliant voice. Yeah,
I'm up for that, mate. I'm up for that.
Yeah. So I'm just figuring things out, and as soon as that's done, I'm always, Coach, I'm always watching your channel. I'm always trying to contribute as much as possible. So I will link up with everyone, and I will make sure that, I get you guys on and we can have those conversations. Again, Coach, thank you for having me today. It's fun as usual.
More thanks to you, brother. Always a pleasure to have you on. Rodrigo, are you following each other?
I will follow him after the show.
Okay. Watch alongs. I think I'm looking at watch alongs, but we'll see what happens. But we'll get to find out this evening whether I'll be able to do a watch along. I'd like to, but we'll see what happens. Chiro Immobile, he's suggesting again. Coach Chris is late today. He says the way we play is flawed. None of the attackers are playing well. That's just the truth. For some reasons I don't want to get into right now, it's ridiculous. Lukaku looked bad, Werner looked bad, Havertz looked bad, Cho looked bad, Pulisic looks worse than he did on the Lampard. Mount scores, but he plays in every game. Yeah, it gets overplayed. A good argument right there. Where's Tuchel's accountability? Again, the argument for Tuchel would be he didn't sign those players. Those were not his signings. So maybe that gives him a leeway to take the time. Now he signed his players. If the players continue to falter, then he has questions to answer. Missing vision ideas, that's the truth. And those comments, I cannot guarantee will be ready. Will be ready for the season. That was summer. Like he's stuck with the trash players. The entire first team is start for their international teams. That's the truth. Again, the manager's approach, you could argue, is the issue. Rodrigo, I don't know if I've gotten your final thoughts. I know. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just happy about the Cucurella deal. Cucurella deal. He's gonna.
Glad you mispronounced it.
Yeah, he's an amazing. Es un crack. Cucurella is un crack, and he's gonna help us. It's gonna help us a lot this season. More dynamic than Alonso. Our attack was lopsided to the right because we were missing someone that can give us what James does. on the right. So now we have someone on the left that can do that. So I think we will. I don't think we'll see him playing tomorrow. I think he'll play against Spurs. That'll be his first game, and tomorrow maybe it'll be Alonso farewell game. Or ideally, I want to see Emerson play because I don't want anything to happen to Alonso. I want him to not get any injury.
What happens if anything happens to him?
Yeah, we don't want to be stuck with him. You know, I love this transfer, so we just have to make sure he doesn't play so that he stays fit for his medical at Barcelona when he eventually happens. We need to keep him.
So we don't have issues selling him back.
Yeah. We need to keep him out of the game. And Fofana, like everyone said, we had a lengthy discussion on the price, but at the end of the day, we'll just have to wait and see. I think there is one Tuchel said in a presser. He said the players coming in, so to Chelsea expecting few more players in. So maybe there's room. Watch this space. But ideally for me, I want that right wing back competition for James. We needed more than since Azpi extended. We needed more than a right centre back. We need that one guy, that can play right wing back, that can even put James on a bench from time to time. Because I feel like we're very light in that department. And in midfield, I don't think we need a midfield as much as some people say, because there's no real DM that we can get in the market. And the striker position, the forward position, again, personally, I don't see anyone in the market at the moment that we can get. Otherwise, it's just gonna cost us a lot of money to get people that are on long-term contracts. So yeah, let's watch and see today. Tomorrow when we play Everton.
Yep. Thank you very much for that contribution. It looks like two other people on the panel have less probably connection issue. Louise's, I'm sure it's a connection issue. I wanted to get her final thought, but if she's not doesn't come in by the time I'm done reading these, then again,
I'm off as well. Yeah. Thanks for having me. And
yeah. Thank you very much. So, Shishu, bro, I appreciate you finding time to join.
I'll tune in for a letter show. I'll listen in when you're doing the lineup and the preview for the Everton game. Thank you.
All right, thank you, bro. Hopefully you'll drop the keys. You know what I mean. All right, bro. Deji, my Niger brother says, has anyone noticed great improvement in Emerson? I think we're going to have a heck of a contest at the left wing back up again. He's leaving, isn't he? I think he's gonna leave. I'm hearing. If that changes, it'd be good to still have him around. Adios Alonso says, just Viola, is he leaving already? Let us know, or has he left, so to speak? Let us know. I want to know. And here we have Mafuma Saraman. Nice to see you, brother. He says, we are winning our first match against Everton. It's going to be Chelsea 2, Everton 1. For me, I think it's going to be a 3-1, but we'll see what happens. And if Tuchel can consider getting Ronaldo, he will be a very good signing for the club, and can tutor both Havertz and Broya. What about all the things that comes with him? Because it's not just about the goals. I've thought about it again. Thank you for 75 people still watching. If you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, for all the support you've shown this channel. We'll be hitting 6,000 subscribers soon. I cannot thank you guys enough. With that, we've come to the end of the show. I want to thank the queen of the house, for helping to keep everything clean. I can't thank you enough. And also, it's Kami. Kami, thank you very much, for staying. I appreciate all your great contributions there. I cannot thank you enough. And says Dodo Lonson's Bayern paid 68 million for the Leeds, and I think he's a better experienced player than Fofana. He's just 22 years old. Chelsea shouldn't pay more than 60 million for him. Okay, we'll see. Rodrigo said Alonso last game, so I said, okay, again, thank you to the queen of the house for staying behind and helping us keep things clean. To every other panelist and those in the chat, Coach Chris, who's also a mod here, who's helped keep things clean. I cannot thank you guys enough. See you guys during the evening for the lineup, predicted lineup show. I hope you all can be there. Thank you so much. God bless us all, and bye. Okay. hung up here. I can't find the outro, but there you go. I think I found it.